Newcastle Sport North East.
Nick Barnes and Gary Bennett MBE.
BBC Radio Newcastle.
Regarding the Alex Pritchard news today, we of course have a Sunderland page on the BBC Sport website, bbcsport.co.uk. It's on the football, in the football section of the BBC Sport website, and then you will, if you put in a search for Sunderland, you'll find the Sunderland page. I believe there are plenty of comments on Pritchard's situation. I don't know if you've had your say. You've had your say on air. I mean, have you been writing a few comments? Have you put a few comments on there?
We've had our say.
You've had your say, and you can have your say as well, as I say, on the Sunderland page on the BBC Sport website. And no doubt, you can have your say later on this afternoon when Benno is here for the phone-in. The phone-in.
There is a phone-in.
You're looking forward to the phone-in this afternoon.
I didn't know there was a phone-in.
Well, guys, how you doing?
It's been an eventful afternoon. We haven't
more
kicked off yet.
For the,
and well, it has kicked off. If you see what I mean. But the game hasn't kicked off yet, and that might be eventful. And we have a phone-in up through till 6 o'clock, or 5:45, and then at 6 build up to Newcastle's FA Cup tie at Fulham with Razor and Ando. That's a 7 o'clock kick-off tonight at Craven Cottage. If you've just walked in and missed the news a little bit earlier, Maidstone beat Ipswich in the Cup this lunchtime. First shock of the day.
How are you doing, guys?
Well, our first shock of the day was the news that Alex Pritchard has refused to play. More on that, no doubt, as the afternoon unfolds. And as I say, have your say either on the Sunderland page on the BBC Football website or on the phone-in later on this afternoon. Colin will give you the numbers. I can never remember them.
I was just
at half-time and at the start of the phone-in.
I was just about to go to Jackie White's and celebrate that.
Chippy in South Shields or something, and that won't go down well.
I
could never remember what the numbers are. So that's for later. We promised to bring you Christian Speakman, sporting director, talking about transfers. Well, here he is.
Christian, firstly, I mean, in the transfer window, Michael Beale's hinted it a couple of times over the last couple of weeks about getting grey hairs into the building, experienced players, which seemed to sort of suggest a slight shift in the policy of bringing in younger players. Is that right, this window?
No, I don't think so. Look, I think everyone will articulate what they feel we need, and obviously we'll package that up into different wording. You know, for us, we're looking for good players to improve the group, looking for good players.
Yeah, no, Derek, what did you say, fella? What did you say, Derek? Just repeat, fella, mate.
So, you know, I don't think
is this definitely happening? I mean, he's gone. What do you mean he's gone? Where's he gone to?
Young players. You know, we've re-signed O'Nien, we've signed a Bath, we've signed a Pritchard, we've signed an Evans. So I don't quite understand the narrative, if I'm being honest with you, with that. But you know, we want to get balance, and we'll keep trying to find the good players that gives us balance.
Michael's spoken about left back and forwards. Where are you at the moment in the window with those particular areas?
Well, we've definitely got a couple of priority positions.
Yeah.
We've spent a lot of time and a lot of focus on.
I've just been told that Alex Pritchard has left Sunderland Football
within
Club
the window for both who can come and complement
that's the
the team,
first time I've heard about it.
And obviously players who
Pritchard
can come and
has
complement
gone.
what we're trying to do as a football club. Where are we on it? Look, I think everyone recognises the market's quite slow at the minute. You know, you've seen a real small number of transactions, especially in the Championship, and we've got a couple of permanent offers on the table out there, a couple of loan offers out there on the table that we're literally waiting on other clubs to come back to us, and that's a slightly frustrating perspective. But you've also got to be respectful to the fact that if players are registered at clubs, it's on them to come back and determine whether they want to let them go on a loan or let them go on the permanent. It's not all in our control, and that doesn't make it a financial conversation. It just means it's a timing issue and a squad management issue for that club.
How restrictive is the financial aspect of this in terms of, we know Sunderland haven't got, you know, the big money that a lot of clubs, the Leeds, Southamptons, etc., this division have got?
Yeah, well, I think we're not going to be in the parachute payment club category, but we've shown over the last 2 years that you can outperform teams, and it's not necessarily just about it. It's how you spend the money and what you do with the money and where you spend it. So we don't feel any issue, and certainly there's nothing financial stopping us doing anything at the minute. It's more down to the market needs to free up, players need to be available, and that's where we sit.
Central midfield.
Give me a second, guys.
Joe,
Pritchard says he's not the one to wish us select. Give us a second, I've just got to do some kids' duties. I'll be back within about 5 minutes. So don't worry, I ain't going anywhere.
The bodies, is that another area that you're looking at?
So
yeah,
just,
we're looking at all
bear
areas.
with us a second.
I don't subscribe to the need and arrest conversation. You know, we're playing one game a week. We've got some professional athletes. They're all capable of delivering on that. Whether players perform well or don't perform well in certain games, that's going to happen. You could argue it could happen more often when you've got a younger group, when they're trying to build that sort of in-game experience. But we're really happy with the sort of three that we've got in the middle of the pitch at the minute. We've got other players that can play in the middle of the pitch, and ultimately it's up to the coach to pick what he feels is the right team.
And in terms of number 9, then, are you looking for an experienced number 9? Are you in some senses handicapped by how much you can pay for a striker? Because obviously that's where
we're handicapped, if you want to use that phrase, by availability in the market. You know, I think if you looked at let's just say the players that we've inquired about, put offers in, we would be one of 6 to 8 clubs for that exact same player. So it just shows, I think, a little bit of where it is, and that's where that position is at the minute. I think sometimes you go through these periods where there's areas of the pitch, there's always maybe more players that, you know, there's a surplus there, if you like, in certain positions, in certain windows, and we've just found over the last couple of windows for that position to be a real difficult point. But we'd be no different to a lot of other football clubs.
Outgoings, I mean, there's a lot of talk about Pritchard and his future. May have gone last window. Talk that he may go this window because his contract's up in the summer. Where do you stand on Alex Pritchard?
Yeah, I mean, I don't listen to too much or see too much of that. Obviously, from what goes on outside the media. From my perspective, internally, look, Alex has been an absolute integral part of how we've got sat around today in the Championship in a really good position. So, he's a really important player for the group. Really pleased that he's got back in the team. He wasn't in the team for a little bit. He's in the team. His contract's up at the end of the season. There's never for me been it's every player, isn't it? You know, are they staying, are they going in every window, because we've got top players. From Alex's perspective, what we've made a decision more recently is to offer him extension to his contract. We wouldn't normally do that, because we normally do that as part of our succession planning somewhere around the March-April time. But we just felt in conversations with him that was something we probably needed to do out of the situation, you know what I mean, in terms of where his head was at more than anything, and I think that's the right thing for the football club to do. So, he's in a really, really good position. He's in the team, around the team, so I'm sure he's happy.
And finally from me, Jack Clark, it's inevitable, and everyone's talking about Clark. Will he stay? Will he go? How much interest, if any, has there been in Clark in this window? And are you resolved, as you said before, there's no need for you to have to sell?
No. Look, I get the nerves around selling players, I really do, because there's players there that we all love, internally and externally. But our ambition is to retain our best players. Our ambition is to keep developing and evolving the group, keep performing, try to perform even better, try to get a higher place in the league. So from that perspective, I don't see any of those external movements happening. We haven't had any discussions on those things. We haven't had anything to really overly consider. So business as usual from our perspective.
Total Sport North East.
Live from the Stadium of Light.
BBC Radio Newcastle.
Well, in the 24 hours since that interview was recorded, Alex Pritchard was clearly unhappy. So that's moved on. That's history. Of that interview. Events took a turn, as they say, in the 24 hours following that interview with Christian Speakman. Before we get the build-up to the game with the music and the PA and everything, I wanted to mention Michael Craig Scott. Now, he was a lifelong Newcastle fan, but as Mickey Forster, who messaged me this week, says, there's no divide in terms of Sunderland Newcastle fans and their family. He was a football fan, and Michael Craig Scott sadly died at the age of 43. Rest in peace, Michael. My condolences and Benno's obviously to Mother Evelyn and Auntie Muriel, and that comes from everyone at Sunderland Football Club as well, just to show that death divides rivalry. There's no rivalry in our book in this instance, and our thoughts are with you, Michael, Evelyn, Muriel and Michael, and Mickey, thanks very much the message to mention Michael this afternoon. Yep, rest in peace. Some sad news. So 3 o'clock, Sunderland Stoke, Patterson in goal, Sealt, Ballard, O'Nien and Hume, Neil, Ekwa, Barr, Joe, Clark and Burstow. The bench is Bishop, Pembele, Hamir, Mayenda, Rusin, Triantis, Rigg, Watson and Crompton. Stoke, Iverson in goal.
Did you say Trumpton?
I probably did, actually, yes. Wistfully thinking of days gone by. I mentioned Camberwick Green at some point. Iverson in goal, Gooch, Wilmot, Rose and Thompson, Kundal, Berger, Bejanu, and then Leris, Campbell and Haksabanovic. Tyrese Campbell will play up front for Stoke this afternoon, who've made 5 changes for the game today. They've actually had not a bad run since Stephen Schumacher took over. A 0-0 draw at home to Millwall. They won 3-1 at Birmingham. They drew at Watford 1-1. They drew with Ipswich 0-0. They unfortunately lost in the Cup 4-2 to Brighton at home, but then that was against a Premier League team. They won at Rotherham. His first defeat in the league came last week at home to Birmingham. Next up for Stoke City is Leicester City. So this marks a big game for Stephen Schumacher this afternoon. Let's hear more now from the Sunderland head coach, Michael Beal.
Central midfield, Pierre Ekwa's been playing as a defensive midfielder. When he first came in the team, he was more forward, more attacking. Seemed to be, more beneficial for him. I mean, your thoughts? I think you said the other week you see him as a defensive midfielder. Any thoughts about pushing him further forwards?
I think all 3 of them, Job, Dan, and him, are more comfortable as number 8s. So at times they have to share the workload. Dan and Pierre have done that more often. In the last game, we left Pierre because we wanted Dan and Job to go and press higher. And in the first half against Hull, we had them locked in. I don't think they actually had a shot in the first half. They had one. They had 1 shot in each half, didn't they? So we had them locked in where we wanted them. Just it's an area as well where we could look to strengthen for sure.
And Stoke, new manager, he seems to have steadied the ship, if you like, but a lot of draws.
Yeah, well, they're top 7 or 8 in terms of the form chart, so it's an interesting game. They've changed the way they've played. Stephen's gone in and has certainly changed from Alex Neil previous, and it will be a tough game. Like, I think obviously everyone's aware of what's in the air around our football club as well. So does that help or hinder? We'll find out. But we're at home. It's a big opportunity for us. There's only 2 championship games this weekend, and as I say, if we win ours, it puts us back in a really strong position, and it's where we've been probably the last 8 or 9 games. Nothing's really moved. It's just hotting up a little bit. Then the top 4 in unbelievable form, but you would say the resources those 4 clubs have, then they should be there.
And people mindful, of course, that Lyndon Gooch is coming back as well.
Yeah, he obviously is well thought of here, and it would be nice to see him, but we don't want him to be happy when he leaves here on Saturday evening.
Total Sport North East.
Nick Barnes and Gary Bennett, MBE.
BBC Radio Newcastle.
So just waiting for the teams to emerge. Luke O'Nien, it is his 250th appearance this afternoon, only the 3rd Sunderland player to reach that landmark this century. Lyndon Gooch actually was on 247, so he would have made that figure if he'd not left for Stoke. Only 2 others have made 250 appearances for Sunderland this century. Can you name them?
Try and have a think. This century. Henderson.
No. I'll tell you. I'll put you out of your misery. John O'Shea and Lee Cattermole. So the teams heading out. Stoke City in their chain strip, blue, predominantly very dark navy blue, and Sunderland, of course, in their red and white stripes. At the moment, though, they're wearing their red tracksuit tops with the luminous orange sleeves as they line up either side of the referee, Andy Davis from Hampshire, who was in charge here back in October when Sunderland beat Watford 2-0, sent off Ryan Andrews late on in the game for a foul on Jack Clark. So he is in bright yellow as the players and the mascots head down the line to shake hands. A recap on the Sunderland team: Patterson, Sealt, Ballard, O'Nien, Hume, Neil, Ekwa, Barr, Jobe, Clark and Burstow. Gooch starts for Stoke. You may have guessed that by the fact that his name's just been announced, and they all went Gooch.
Yes, popular player.
Very much so.
Yeah.
So the players peeling off those tracksuit tops, and Patterson reveals his yellow goalkeeping kit. Away to his right, to our right, is Daniel Everson, the Dane on loan from Leicester, and he'll be in orange this afternoon for Stoke City. It's a chilly afternoon, it's a dry afternoon. There was talk of it being windy today. Well, in one sense, metaphorically speaking, the wind's blown through here, hasn't it?
It's not too bad, to be truthful.
No, it's not bad today at all.
It's been colder.
It has. So Sunderland away to the left at the moment, north end of the stadium. Stoke all in, well, basically not a huddle as such, but they're all high-fiving each other. Well, Michael Beal's out at the end of his technical areas, just had a word with Barr. Jobe is going to get the game underway. No, Burstow will get the game underway. The wind is billowing his shirt, it's blowing through it as Sunderland defend the north end of the stadium in this first half. And as you know, you'd expect, the atmosphere will be good at the start. All the players, bar one or two on the Sunderland team, not taking the knee. And Burstow, Jobe, Barr took the knee, and the referee, we're just waiting to get the game underway, just checking his watch, Andy Davis, and will now do so. Burstow pushing the ball back to Ekwa, and behind him Dan Neil back to Luke O'Nien, that 250th appearance, across to Ballard, who made his 50th last week, and Jack Clark 200 the other week as well. As the ball floats up onto the halfway line, a foul, says the referee, on Rose, Michael Rose, who signed from Coventry in the summer, and a free kick to Stoke City, and it will be taken by Rose, and he is just inside his own half and floats the ball out to the right wing, trying to get the ball down the right side. Gooch got the ball forwards down the right to Bay, Junio. Sunderland have won it back, and Clark's trying to get away. He stabs it away from Gooch into Dan Neil. This inside the Sunderland half, and Neil plays it across to Ballard. Ballard out to the wing, Sealt, and Sealt taking this forwards into the Stoke City half, plays it into the middle to Dan Neil. Neil trying to get through away past Cundle, Luke Cundle, who's on loan from Wolves. Back to Ekwa, out to Barr, and Barr, a couple of step overs, trying to flick the ball through to Burstow, but turned away by Rose at the edge of his penalty area to Junio, and then back through Berger, Wouter Berger, the Dutchman in the central midfield for Stoke City. A longer ball up over the halfway line, and then it drops back again over the shoulder of Luke O'Nien to goalkeeper Anthony Patterson. 0-0 in the opening exchanges here at the Stadium of Light this afternoon. And so now Barr trying to get away past Rose. The ball rolls down the touchline.
It's a foul.
Barr is
well
pushed over by Rose, right in front of the assistant. Rose's words with him, but no question about the push. And a free kick for Sunderland wide here on the right-hand side. Clark comes across to this right wing to take the free kick. So this, an early opportunity to get the ball in the penalty area. Barr is at this near corner. Burstow, Ballard, Job, Sealt. There's plenty of height in the box for Sunderland. They line up on the 12-yard mark.
Good delivery, that's what you need.
Eckwer's back here on the right with Jack Clark. Clark, the ball just a foot inside the pitch. It's 20 yards out. He's going to swing this in then with his right foot. It's a good ball in. It's headed away towards the far side, and will Stoke keep it in? No, they don't. Mehdi Leris, the Algerian international, couldn't quite keep it in, and it's a corner to Sunderland, their first of the afternoon. It wasn't a bad ball in. We're in the 4th minute. What would Sunderland give for an early goal? What would Michael Beal give for an early goal from Sunderland? Stephen Schumacher watches on, hands in his pockets of his overcoat. Michael Beal is in conversation with Mike Dodds. Mike Dodds wearing his red and white bobble hat. Clark then on the left with this corner. Eckwer and Barr over there, 2 at the Roker end. Clark swings this in. Up goes Job, heads the ball back down, but it's cleared, headed out by Stoke. Baijuniu tries to get past Hume, who just sticks a foot through the ball. Out for a throw. Came off the South Korean. This throw halfway inside the Stoke City half on the right-hand side, and Jensen Sealt will take this. He's found Eckwer just in front of him, and back to Sealt, back onto the halfway line to Ballard, who plays it into the centre to Luke O'Nien, closed down by Tyrese Campbell, but the ball given away to Gooch on the far side. Clark is in front of him. Gooch plays it inside to Berger. Berger plays it back to the goalkeeper, Iverson, at the edge of his penalty area. He will pass this out to the left now to Thompson, Jordan Thompson, the Northern Ireland international, up to Baijuniu. It's given the ball away again, back to Barr eventually. Rose gets in front of him, and this time it's Rose who wins the free kick. Barr wrestles Rose to the floor. Thompson will take the free kick, taps it back to Michael Rose into the centre circle. Ben Wilmot into the penalty area to Ben Wilmot, and he will play it out wide to Gooch on the far side. Inside then to Cundle. Cundle closed down by Job, passes it back to Wilmot. Wilmot looking to get it forwards to Gooch again. Gooch into the centre circle to Berger, and he's going to play it wide left now to Haksabanovic, and the Montenegrin slips it into the penalty area, and it's passed inside by Thompson. Luke O'Nien managed to clear it to Ballard, who got it out. It's come back to Berger, and a weak shot bobbles into the hands of Anthony Patterson. But Stoke got into the Sunderland penalty area remarkably easily then. The ball's played out to Joe, wide on the left-hand side. Immediately closed down by Cundle and Gooch. It's broken though for Clark. Clark on halfway on the edge of the centre circle. Plays it straight through to Cundle, to Berger, and then back to Wilmot. Ben Wilmot, former Watford defender, now Rose, former Coventry man, back to the goalkeeper Iverson. He kicks it out wide on the far side. Gooch keeps it in. His head to Cundle, trying to get it forwards to Leris. Leris then trying to knock it over the top to Tyrese Campbell to run onto. Luke O'Nien can't get his foot on it. He does eventually, puts it behind for a corner. Stoke City's first corner. First test for Sunderland from a set piece from the visitors in their navy blue.
Yes, hi there, welcome. Sorry I'm late.
Gooch
just had to do some kids' duties
central,
and stuff.
just in front of the
thanks everybody for tuning in so far, and the new
Looks
subscribers.
like
If you can click the subscribe button if you can, and
defender.
hit that magical thumbs up. Just
31
click the like
caps for
button,
Northern Ireland. He
and it
began his
helps the
career with
channel
Manchester
massively.
United.
Thank you.
He will swing this in.
I don't even know that Pritchard had left. I've been busy doing sort of like private jobs around the house.
Played it short. It's whipped in here. Tyrese Campbell trying to get his foot on it.
I only came back to find out about
knocked it behind.
Pritchard's away.
Goal kick.
For a goal kick.
Incredible stuff.
He's standing on the edge of the 6-yard box. So 0-0 in the 8th minute. Patterson has Ballard and O'Nien either side of his 6-yard box. He taps it to Ballard on the right. Out wide then to Sealt.
Thanks, Doug, for reminding me on. I was going to read some
Berger's
of the,
on his shoulder. Ekwa plays it across to Hume. Hume forwards to Clark. Clark back inside to Ekwa.
I reckon the players will not play well for Beal today. Pritchard was popular at the
Millwall
club.
1, Preston 0. The only other championship game.
Derek says, Gordon Highmere, you really need to read my urgent
swings it down the right wing and put out though by Mehdi Leris. Throw to Sunderland. 20
Jennifer Andrews,
yards
shocking news about Pritchard.
On the left-hand side.
I'm at the airport Luton flight half time.
It does.
Travel safe days, mate. Rusty Macklin back area. Job, better player in the game of his life, not be mistaken.
Plays it out to the right here now.
And Dave also says Clark be going next. Timmy White,
Bar ahead of him, Bar on halfway, runs in front of Schumacher.
Jonathan
inside, gets away from Haksabanovic, then away from Bajan. With a step over, finds Job. The ball comes back though for Campbell, and now Bajan couldn't quite control it.
Hey Cabby, hello Jennifer, how are you doing?
Dan Neal.
Cabby, have you read the urgent post? I have. Angela Coleman, hi peeps, what's the news on Pritchard? And yes, I fixed the mic.
Clark taking on Leris.
Yeah, Pritchard has gone. He's not even
through the middle
in the bench.
now, and then swinging out to Sealt. He's lost Thompson, and it's gone out to Sealt to cross deep, far too deep cross from Sealt. Job's trying to make the best of it with Gooch on his shoulder on the far touchline. Bounces down for Gooch just to hook back over his head. Headed on by Clark, trying to get Burstow back in play. Hooked away again by Wilmot. It's fallen for Hume. Hume now.
Chris Minton, hello mate, how are you doing? Birmingham. Hi Caddy, thanks for the stream. Pritchard walking out now. Speakman
wide on the left.
TIT.
Forwards to Dan Neal. Ball given away again to Gooch. And forwards to Cundle inside to Berger. Berger here. Out to the left, it'll be intercepted by Sealt, who's tripped.
Hi guys, I'm back.
Thompson on halfway, free kick wide here on the right for Sunderland. Sealt picks himself up. Stephen Schumacher flicks the ball with his right foot to Sealt.
What does that say about Pritchard leaving, though? Does that mean, he doesn't think much of the fans for doing that, does he really?
Ballard again, trying to shake off the South Korean, Jun Yo. It's come out to Sealt, and then he's played it back, and Campbell nearly whipped it away from Dan Neal, but they get it back to Ballard, and now Luke O'Nien. And O'Nien leaves it for Job. Job forwards to Clark. Clark trying to get past Leris, is tackled, but the ball drops back to Job. Job's trying to slip it through past Wilmot for Burstow, but Wilmot gets the ball away.
You don't think it's because of Beal being in charge, do you? It's not going to leave
for a throw to Stoke City. Sunderland 0, Stoke City 0 in the 11th minute.
Yeah, we've just not been able to get that little flowing pattern going yet, have we?
No, as you say, trying to get Burstow into play, it's proving difficult at the moment. Gooch will take the throw for Stoke on the far side. Finds Leris back to Gooch, and out it goes again for another Stoke City throw. And Gooch again will take this on halfway on the right-hand side.
He's going to want to come to the club in the transfer window.
Down the line it goes, and Leris is trying to work it eventually to Campbell, back to Gooch. He manages to get away from Burstow, slips it inside then to Berger, plays it across to Thompson. Thompson has Haksabanovic on the left wing, and he takes this on now, trying to cut across the back of the penalty area and plays it across the middle, looking for Gooch, but it's whipped off him by Job, and Job now has a runner in Burstow, but Burstow will be offside. He wanted it played earlier, but Job's still going down the left-hand side. Job cuts inside, is just caught by Thompson, but no foul, says the referee. Burstow tries to get on the end of it, but Stoke will get this away, and it's Lyndon Gooch who's bringing this out through the middle and lays it off now to Berger, who plays it back to Rose to Thompson just outside the Stoke penalty area, and then up to Berger. Ekwa in front of him, plays it back to Rose, closed down by Burstow, plays it right up through the middle, straight to Luke O'Nien, almost on the centre spot, And Luke O'Nien bringing this on now, lays it off on the left to Clark. Clark to O'Nien again down the left of the penalty area. Wilmot tries to make the tackle, but the cross comes into the hands of Iverson, the goalkeeper. Stokes away form matches their home form. 1-4.
Derek, I'm going to give you my email address, mate. I'm going to put it in the chat now. You can email me your details, whatever.
Ben Wilmot takes the ball out into midfield, plays it across to Thompson. Jordan Thompson on this left-hand side. Thompson swings it up through the middle, looking for Campbell's run on the shoulder of Hume. Hume takes this down and he plays it off Campbell for a throw at the corner. Stephen Schumacher took over on December the 23rd. He was, of course, in charge of Plymouth when Sunderland went to Home Park earlier in the season.
Send us an email, mate. Messages on that, because obviously I won't give me number out.
By 2 goals to 0. Goals from Morgan Whittaker and
Pritchard doesn't have to
in
think about
the first half.
He has to think about himself first.
So at the moment, Schumacher holds the bagging rights.
I can't see. No, I'm not showing the game. I'm not allowed to show the game.
Back to
as much as I'd like to, Blake, because YouTube would just close the channel down.
On his shoulder from the scholar at the Manchester City Academy, joined Stoke in 2016. Here's Dan Neil out to Clark, wide, just in the Stoke half, looking for Burster, who would have been offside, as you're right to say. 14th minute, 0-0 still, live on BBC Radio Newcastle later on this afternoon. We have, or this evening, full commentary of Fulham against Newcastle in the FA Cup. Don't forget phone in. I'm sure you'll be wanting to talk to Benno about Alex Pritchard, who yesterday announced that he was not going to play in today's game. He's withdrawn himself from the matchday squad. It's Stoke here, wide on the right, Leris and Gooch. Leris plays it inside to Junyo, who's turned Ekwa and shoots, tipped over the bar by Patterson. It would have gone on just under. I think Patterson wisely just managed to get his fingertips to it and tip it over the bar.
Junho, good
was a good shot, wasn't it?
Excellent turn. You had to get a touch on that, Patterson, just to put it over.
Just tipped it
over.
Hello,
Jack.
It's second Stoke corner.
Gotta concentrate here.
Yeah, there's a chap just sharing it on SCFC. He's
on the right-hand side, the Montenegrin. He drives us in with his right foot, looking for Berger, gets his head on it, but Hume is going to get in front of Campbell and hooks the ball away
audio commentary
to the halfway line where Gooch is stationed for Stoke. Plays it down the left here to Berger. Berger plays it off bar, actually. It runs to Dan Neil. Neil nearly tackled by Kundle, gets the ball up now to Clark. Burstow through the middle, three players around him. Ekwa's making a run up here too as well. Now Clark tries to find Barr on the right hand side in the penalty area. Barr trying to get it on his left, goes down and it's put over the bar by Clark. The referee's looking at the incident which saw Barr go down. Long hard look at it, but no penalty, and Clark shot over the bar.
I think Barr should have just took it on the outside. He took it back into the crowd, back to where the players were.
Brighton are one up in the cup, but I didn't hear who against.
Brighton, Sheffield United.
So 0-0. Junio, a shot chipped over. Clark, a shot just over. Here's Neil to Hume, looking for the run of Clark. Away again down the left into the penalty area on the left-hand side, onto his right foot, drives it here to Ekwa. Ekwa! Oh! Skims the side netting. He arguably should have done better. He had time to bring it down. They're arguing it took a deflection, the players, Sunderland players, but the goal kick's been given. That shaved the post and side netting.
You've got to hit the target, Nick. It's a great opportunity. He's got to work the goalkeeper. It's a great opportunity.
Oh, Jack, thank you very much, mate, for your super chat, mate.
Thank you
at
the referee
means
now.
A lot.
Makes a change.
Respect, mate. Thank you.
The goal kick from
Everson,
headed on by Leris, looking for Campbell. It will drop for Ballard. Tried to clear it, blocked by Kundle. Comes back to Ballard. Back to Sealt, and he pushes it back to Patterson.
You're welcome, Jack. Thanks very much,
bright
mate.
Yellow. He drives this up to the halfway line, looking for Burstow, drops over his shoulder, comes back to
Wilmot.
It just helps it on its way back to Iverson, closed down by Burstow. So he passes it out to Wilmot again, out into midfield to Luke Cundle, and then Cundle gets it back again, but mishits his pass for Gooch, and out it goes for a throw to Sunderland. Here's Neil, but he's been tackled. Campbell has the ball. He's got Junhyo just ahead of him, but to his left is Haksabanovic. He shoots, it's blocked. He's claiming handball, but again, Andy Davis, the referee's unmoved. Barr battles for it, and eventually it goes out for a throw to Sunderland in front of Michael Beal, which Ekwa takes. Back it goes to Ballard, and Ballard back again to Patterson.
If this starts anything to go about, we're getting beat again today, says John Yule, and more music for our support.
Penalty area, drives us out to Ekwa.
Jack says, it's annoying because you
wing.
Can't even listen to
Silt's ahead of him, but player in his path, Thompson, it's played inside to Barr, then inside to Dan Neal. Neal forwards to Job. Job
it's
out
just
to Hume on the left, a little short pass forward.
And I know there's many
looking
people
for Job down the left of the penalty area. Thompson, Cundle's gone with him. Job out on the touchline, pulls it back inside now to Hume in the penalty area, and it's whipped off his feet. Just kept in by Leris, but put out for a throw.
Good play. Excellent play.
Job trying to whip up the crowd.
Well, it's a bright start. It's a bright start for Sunderland, I've got to say that.
Hume comes across on the left to take the throw for Sunderland in the 19th minute, 0-0, but Hume gets the ball back from Clark, back to Clark. Clark crosses. It's straight through the penalty area line for a goal kick. As I say, nobody there, nobody in. 20th minute, almost halfway through the first half, goalless. Chances at both ends. Junhyo,
thank you for 172 that's watching the channel tonight.
One tipped over, one just over. Ball passed to Wilmot, who swings it out left, looking for Haksabanovic, intercepted by Silt. Finds Barr down the right wing. Thompson in front of him, but he's going to pass it inside to Ekwa, back out to Barr, back behind him, Silt. He swings a ball into the penalty area. Keeper gets out in front of Burstow and catches it.
Unlucky.
And looks to feign to roll it out, but eventually bowls it out to Gooch on the right wing.
We should be
takes it on his chest.
Should be 2 or 3.
Plays it back again to Wilmot at the edge of the area and back to the goalkeeper. Clark pursues.
But it's the same thing, isn't it? We can't.
Beaten in the air by Silt. Thompson heads it on. Ekwa heads it back. Thompson heads it back again. Haksabanovic got his head on it, but not to Campbell. Back to Ballard. And Ballard back to the goalkeeper.
181 people get smashed in that like button.
Out to O'Nien.
It massively helps the channel as well. And
Neil,
if you feel free, you can subscribe
to Hume on the left wing. Leris in front of him.
Plays
it back to Ballard. Good ball from Hume. And Ballard bringing this up towards the halfway line. And looking to try and get Silt away down the right wing. Silt runs onto this at the corner of the penalty area, looks to swing it into the box, but straight to Lyndon Gooch, who plays it out to Cundle, and then it's given away again to Hume, but lost to Gooch. Gooch short ball forward to Cundle, back to Wilmot, out to Gooch, inside again to Cundle, back towards the goalkeeper.
It's just things like that. You can't play a shabby passes when you're in possession like that. You've got to make them passes count. That is our downside when we're going forward.
Through, but read by O'Nien, right back up to the goalkeeper. Iverson, all in orange, on loan from Leicester City. Rolls it out to Gooch. Gooch swinging it out to Haksabanovic on the left.
It's like we're a real strong reinforcement. Going forward, and then in the last third, in the 18-yard area, like a pack of cards in the pissing down.
And that's just tipped round the post by Anthony Patterson, going down to his right.
Did he touch that?
I think he touched it. It's a Stoke corner. So I think that may have crept in at the post. I think.
Cheers, there's Chris.
Patterson did well to get down and tip it round.
Doug B says BBC Newcastle not even let us in Canada listen to games. Not like we can get to the games. Yeah, it's all to do with copyright and
for Stoke City.
Chris says
0-0.
hope Stoke can get off the mark today.
Who's going to take the corner again.
I don't even realise
he did the last one over the other side.
Derek, he dropped rushing again crazy.
He plays it short to Thompson.
I put my email on the chat for you, Derek. I don't know if you've seen it.
The edge of the area. Lerris managed to turn it back out to Kundle.
Angela had a bet on Maidstone Laddies.
Rolls it out to
Roberts in only 14
to Haksabanovic.
Yeah, brilliant.
Just outside
the
penalty area. And he's trying to shake off Dan Neil. Passes it to Thompson.
Job is shattered, needs a rest, says Derek.
Floats the ball across the penalty area and behind for a goal kick. A flock of seagulls below us.
What's that a sign off?
Don't know. But they're enjoying the thermals.
You see the seagulls when they come, they want to go onto the trawler. And what do you think they're looking for?
Pilchards.
Fish.
Was it pilchards you mentioned? I think it was the anniversary of
Cantona's it was indeed kick, 30, yeah.
This week. As the ball drops up to Jun Ho and Ekwa whips it off him, finds Bursa, little back heel to Ekwa, back to Dan Neil at the edge of the centre circle. Hume runs onto this, he's got Clark out wide of him. He's got Job in the middle, it's Clark now down the left of the penalty area, taking on Gooch. Gooch trying to stick with him, sticks a foot out, gets his foot on the ball, but it comes to Hume.
Still very,
and Hume now out on the touchline, back inside to Neil. Neil trying to shake off by Jun Yo. Finds Clark just inside and plays it back to Ekwa in the middle. Ekwa now looking for Seal, cut out though on this left-hand side by Thompson, played in the middle to Berger, and then picked up by Haksabanovic. Ekwa just losing it, Berger just behind him, Berger out to Lerris on the right-hand side, they're still in the Stoke half. Back to Gooch and back again to the goalkeeper, Daniel Everson, who plays it out to Thompson on this left wing.
Yeah, sorry Wendy, I'm just reading some of the chat comments.
Plays it back again to Rose, the edge of the area, and he swings it over to the far side to Gooch. Gooch just a few yards in touch, pushing on down the line to Lerris. Lerris will play it back inside to Gooch. Gooch now looking for the advanced Kundle. Kundle looking for Campbell down the right side of the penalty area, but nobody in the box at Stoke. They're gradually arriving. Here is Jun Ho. He's trying to take it on his left, now onto his right, and he shoots over. But he was given time to put it from one foot to the other and then shoot, but over the bar.
Tell you what, he's got great feet. But a good run by Campbell.
Nothing wrong with kippers.
Just got to be wary of that, Sunderland.
Yeah. There's a couple of times they've managed to ghost into the penalty area.
Wendy, can you hear the commentary all right now?
Patterson closed down by the South Korean, gets the ball clear.
Because I've had a lot of important news with Pritchard leaving.
Lerris
can everybody hear the match commentary okay?
Trying to out-battle Hume, and Hume wins it. Now Neil to Clark, Burstow through the middle. Clark blocked by Wilmot, and it's going to be a free kick, and I think a yellow card as well, isn't it, for Wilmot?
Yeah.
Yellow card for the centre half for that block. Free kick on the angle.
No, round with Seagulls.
On the left-hand side. Clark will take. Goalless at the moment. 10th versus 19th at the start of play this afternoon. Live on BBC Radio Newcastle.
Good balling, that's what you need here.
Yeah. In the 27th minute now, Andy Davis just jogging back into midfield. The referee in his bright yellow top, black shorts. Clark standing, his hands on his hips. Jun Yo in the wall. Say wall, it's just one brick in the wall.
Hey.
There you go.
Pink Floyd. Hey.
It's floated into the hands of.
I'll give you that one. I'll give you that one. You're on song. You're on song.
Kick this off with Flock of Seagulls.
I'm telling you.
Can we get Pink Floyd in there?
That's it. That's it. We're on song.
And the ball played back here to Wilmot, who's being chased by Burstow, and plays it up to Campbell in the centre circle. Chests it down to Jun Hyo. Gets it back. Campbell trying to get away on the right. Hume is in his way. He plays it behind him to Gooch. Gooch in the Sunderland half now, taps it inside to Kundle, and the 21-year-old who scored 5 goals for Plymouth in the first half of the season.
Thank you so much.
On loan from Wolves. has played it out to the left. Haksabanovic to Thompson, who's offside, flags up. Free kick to Sunderland. Will be taken by Ballard, by the looks of things, just outside the
thanks for the
Sunderland penalty area.
Again, thank you.
And we're goalless in the 28th minute here.
It's Beal's just standing with
Patterson has it. He kicks
hands
it
in his
long.
pockets.
He's looking for Burstow. Rose on his shoulder. It drops for Burstow. Dropped over the shoulder of the centre half. He's out on the right of the penalty area. Block, though, by Rose as Burstow tried to cross. Wins a throw down in the corner, which he will leave for Sealt to take. A couple of yards from the corner flag on the right-hand side. And Sealt needs some help here. Ekwa comes across bars there as well. Ekwa's jogging towards the goal line. Ekwa it is who takes it and plays it back to Sealt and tried to step over. Haksabanovic just flicks it out. Just another throw for Sunderland. Here on the right, Stephen Schumacher just issuing a few instructions. Michael Beale's out at the edge of his technical area. Sealt again looking for some movement here. Burstow's offering it, so is Ekwa. Ekwa again tapping it back to Sealt. He's back-heeled it to Ekwa. Ekwa on the right of the penalty area, blocked by Thompson as he tries to cross and plays it back then Ekwa to Barr. And Barr wide on the right, looking for the run into the box if he can of Sealt, but Haksabanovic gets in front of him, turns it away, out to Jun Hyo, brings it down, and Barr, well, he tried to win it back, in the end Ekwa hacks at the South Korean, catches him, brings him down, and it's a free kick to Stoke. This on the left, halfway inside their own half. Wouterberger plays it back to Rose. And he swings it out on the right wing. Leris, Gooch is ahead of him. Leris lays it off to Gooch on the right-hand side. Leris continues his run down the right of the Sunderland penalty area. Tackled by O'Nien, the ball caught between the legs of the Algerian, trying to get it off them. Then is Kundal, the ball gone behind as a corner. It's Blackburn Rovers women 0, Sunderland women 1 in the game that kicked off in the Championship at 2 o'clock. Sheffield United 0, Brighton 2. And it's Gateshead 0, Barnet 1 as Thompson jogs down to take the corner on the right at the north end of the stadium.
Switch on.
Here the 1900 Stoke fans above the Patterson's goal. Haksabanovic has obviously had a knock or something. He's waiting to come back on the pitch as the corner is taken and caught by Patterson. Wilmot was in front of him trying to get up. Patterson couldn't get the ball away quickly. Leris was standing right in front of him. Haksabanovic is back on the pitch. Here's Ballard to Ekwa, forwards to Barr. Barr now out to Sealt on the right wing. Sealt looking for the run of Barr, is he? No, he plays it inside to Burstow. Tackled by Rose, played by Berger out to Haksabanovic, back inside to Thompson, and back again to Wilmot. Closed down by Burstow, but Wilmot brings this away and is still going up to the halfway line. Rolls out to Gooch on the right in 31st minute. Forwards to Leris, and Mehdi Leris now plays it back to Gooch, and forwards again to Leris, inside to Berger, tackled by Burstow, but the ball breaks for Jun Hyo. No, it doesn't, as Kundal tried to get it through to him. It was intercepted by Sealt. He was on the run, Barr's out to the right, and then he's pulled back right in front of the referee by Kundal. Just grabbed his shirt and pulled him down, and that's a yellow card for Kundal. Quite unnecessary yellow card for the Loney. He too joins Wilmot now in Andy Davis's notebook. Sunderland 0, Stoke City 0. 16th last season. They've not really progressed. They're 19th at the moment as things stand. Leeds 1, Plymouth 0 in the FA Cup. Here's Dan Neil. Neil on halfway to Ballard just behind him. And Ballard on the right to Ekwa. Ekwa down the line to Sealt. Sealt has Haksabanovic trying to get the ball off him, and the ball just rolls off Sealt's foot out for a throw to Stoke halfway inside their own half on the left-hand side. Thompson will take this.
Sunderland on the better side.
Campbell back behind him, Berger back again to Wilmot, swings it over to Gooch, who's come inside in the middle and now trying to get forwards on the halfway line, finding Cundle, who's fouled by Neil. Free kick to Stoke on the right side of the centre circle. 33rd minute. Chris Rigg warming up. Thus the applause.
It looks like it's going to be
just rolling it into the channel for Thompson to try and run down, but Ballard just shoulders him off. Runs behind for a goal kick.
Yeah, it's just looking like it just looks like Patterson it's going to be the copy and paste repeat. With a sort of better team passing possession, and they get a cut through chance and score.
O'Nien and Ballard.
They get the very rare one or two chances to put the ball in the net.
One, Carlisle's hopes of getting out of the bottom three not being helped by
he'd bring three subs on
Wilmot,
in the 79th minute.
Campbell comes back to Wilmot in the penalty area now. Cundle, great save by Patterson. Driven straight at him, but it was a good save nonetheless from Patterson. Cundle won't understand how he didn't score. Wilmot trying to put it back in again. Now Jun Ho, and off the line from O'Nien and back over the bar from the right from Cundle. And they're pleading, the Stoke players, they felt there was some sort of foul in the penalty area.
Yeah, they wanted a penalty, didn't they? But I tell you what, they should have scored.
He should have scored, Cundle.
Good defending though.
And then
but worrying times, Nick.
They've got in a few times, Stoke. And Patterson's had to be there on both occasions. Tipped one over, now blocked that one, and then O'Nien cleared on the line. Still 0-0. As Barr tries to get away down the right-hand side, and the ball rolls out here for a throw. The assistant finally gives the decision to Stoke. Barr's left on the floor. I was just saying how Carlisle's hopes of getting out the bottom 3-4 of the of League One not helped because Exeter are winning 2-0 at Barnsley, surprisingly. The team just outside the bottom 4, Exeter, and Carlisle were needing them really to lose. They lost. Exeter won in the week, it didn't help. But here, 0-0, things level. Thompson with a throw to Wilmot, now back to Rose to hook away. Neil tries to push it onto Ekwa. Berger's in the way. He plays it into the centre to Gooch. Clark going with him. Gooch slips slightly, and Clark's trying to get the advantage here. Gets the ball. Clark in the area, trying to slip it through, but it took a touch off the defender when he tried to get it into Burstow's path, and it's rolled back to the goalkeeper.
He's tried to find Burstow. I think he should have just gone in his own.
Should have tried himself.
Yeah.
The opportunity granted to him by Gooch's mistake, the slip. Clark took advantage but couldn't take further advantage. Ball smashed against Job by Gooch. Job is doubled up on the floor at the moment. The ball's come back to Sealt, heads it back into the Stoke half. Job still doubled up. He's trying to get to his feet. Haksabanovic has the ball for Stoke, and he rolls it out wide now to Leris. It's cut out though by Hume for a throw. Job back up on his feet.
Haksabanovic and Hunyo, good ball carriers.
They're good with their feet.
Yeah.
And their movement's good as well. Here's Leris on the right, plays it back behind him to Gooch. Gooch inside to Berger. Berger back down the right of the penalty area. Cundle back to Gooch, who looks up and then will play a ball where he tried to cross it into the box. It took a deflection, but Haksabanovic has run onto it at the edge of the penalty area. Finds Thompson down the left of the penalty area. He's come back out of it, forced out by Sealt. Plays it back to Rose, who tried to play it up to John Yo, but it's come down to Thompson, who gets it off Ekwa, and now Cundle, in goes Neil. The ball though rolls to Berger. Berger plays it off Job. It will break again though for Stoke, but Job tried to get a foot in, and it's played up by Wilmot straight to Hume. Hume now looking for Clark. Wilmot jumps in front of him, finds Leris inside to Cundle. Cundle on the right hand side, Leris wide, and Leris forced back by Job. He plays it inside to Berger. Berger back onto the halfway line to Gooch. And Gooch now will swing it wide to the left to Haksabanovic, headed away by Sealt, looking for Ekwa. Ekwa down this right-hand side. Junhyo's trying to get in front of him. Ekwa's got the better of the South Korean, slips the ball inside to Bar, but he's tackled by Rose. And Junhyo now leaves it for Gooch, who's on the left. Millwall 1, Preston 1. The other game in the Championship, here's Wilmot, closed down by Clark at the edge of the area to Rose and out to Thompson on the left-hand side. And Thompson will look for Campbell, cut out by Ballard on halfway. Ballard into the middle now to Job. Job just at the front of the centre circle. Looks to play it probably to the left.
Actually, Steve, you lad.
Trying to find Clark. Clark just ahead of him in central midfield. He's going to cut across the middle now, Clark, towards the right-hand side. And he will play it out to Sealt on this right side. Sealt now needs someone to come and support him. Sealt has Ballard behind him. He plays it to Ballard on halfway. Ballard now taking this on with Campbell on the shoulder. Block, plays it behind him to Sealt. And Sealt on the touchline. It looked like it might have slipped over the line. Schumacher's furious. Carlisle 0, Bolton 2.
230 watching
League
now.
One. Hume now trying to get forwards down the left-hand side, trying to slip it into Burstow, trying to get it back to Hume. Tries to play it into the middle for Barr or Burstow, but Stoke get the ball away. Leris hooks it up to the halfway line. Ballard pushes it on to Job. Job just inside the Stoke half, finds Neil. Neil now looking to get forwards down the left with Clark. Clark trying to cut inside, trying to get past Leris. And in the end, the ball rolls out for a throw to Stoke City. Back it goes to Gooch. Gooch nearly tackled by Clark. The ball in the air, drops for Dan Neil. Clark trying to get on the end of it in the penalty area. Clark, Rose gets to him first. Wins a free kick for a barge on him by Clark.
Yeah, good defending. He's done well there, covering there, getting round.
Yeah. Clark was in. Rose had to get his foot to it. Clark barged him down. Free kick to Stoke. Goalkeeper
makes a change, Stevie.
comes out to take it.
Oh, welcome back to the channel anyway, mate.
The 40th minute. Sunderland 0, Stoke City 0. Live on BBC Radio Newcastle.
2 more subscribers, thank you very much.
3 o'clock kickoff on a Saturday afternoon. Feels slightly discombobulating. Everson just waiting for everybody to drift towards the right. Kicks up into the Sunderland half over Hume's head. It'll be O'Nien who deals with this to Hume. Cundle's on his shoulder. He gets it out to O'Nien on the touchline, looking for the run of Burstow, and he looked to be tugging a little bit on Wilmot's shirt, but the ball's headed away and back up on halfway. Cundle trying to get it through to Leris here. Leris challenged by Neil, and Neil
I'm surprised I got that many leads up, you know.
And it's Blackburn Rovers women 0, Sunderland 2. The free kick's wasted. Comes all the way back to Everson, the Stoke City goalkeeper. Goalless in the last 5 minutes of the first half. Ball with Ben Wilmot, and he passes wide here to Thompson on the left. And Thompson looking for the run of Junhyo. He tried to flick it on past Ballard, but O'Nien's there to intercept, cover in front of Campbell. Patterson passes it away from the Stoke striker out to Job. Job nearly caught, well, he was caught effectively by Berger, and it's come down on the right on the edge of the penalty area. Down goes Leris on the challenge from Hume, or O'Nien, but no penalty. Went down a little bit too theatrically.
Yeah, too easy.
And the ball's back with O'Nien now and to Patterson. And there was no appeal. I think it was quite telling as well from the Algerian. Now Sealt looking for Burstow on the shoulder of Wilmot. Wilmot's taken the ball off him quite comfortably. Gets it back to Everson. Everson passes it out now to Thompson. Thompson brings this up towards the halfway line, out wide to Haksabanovic, and he's now got to try and get past Sealt. Sealt gets a foot to it, but Haksabanovic comes away with the ball again. Plays it down the left to Junhyo here. He's trying to cut inside into the middle, looking for Campbell, trying to get his foot on the end of it. It sails through to Patterson.
Decent fan cheers, mate. You too, Steve.
0, Luton 1 in the FA Cup in the 42nd minute here at the Stadium of Light. Sunderland 0, Stoke City 0.
I'm not confident with any match with this Muppet in charge, Stevie.
And just pushing it forwards a couple of yards. and rolling it again with the instep and then kicking it, looking for Burstow through the middle. Wilmot gets his head on it, then his right foot on it, hooks it high in the air. Silt trying to win it in front of Junho and plays it into the middle, where it's picked up by Kundle, who gets it out to the left here to Thompson. Thompson on the left wing, just inside the Sunderland half, leaves it for Haksabanovic, and he plays it down the left to Kundle, who tries a back heel, rolling it in what he would hope to be the path of Thompson, but it's Ballard who gets in the way, plays it inside to O'Nien. He plays it up to the halfway line looking for Burstow, and again he wins it now after a challenge by Neil, and Job finds Clark on the shoulder of Gooch. He's going to go around him. Clark at the edge of the penalty area, into the penalty area. Clark here on his left, and a left foot saved by the keeper, drops here on the line. It's in. Burstow scores. Persistence paid off. The initial save by the left foot of the goalkeeper came down to Ekwa, who pushed it back in, and Burstow on the goal line squeezed it under the goalkeeper, and Burstow whipping up the Roker end.
Yeah, that's what it means to him. You can say that it was a scrappy goal, but he still had to react. Again, great play again by Clark. His shot was
Michael Beale's red and white army. Michael Beale's red and white army.
But Burstow, give him credit, he was there.
Right place, right time. Had to be there. And in the 43rd minute has given Sunderland the lead. So Sunderland 1 up in front now as we approach half-time, after the initial Clark attempt was saved by
That's going to go an own goal, isn't it?
And the follow-up,
he knew what he was doing,
from Burstow gives Sunderland the lead.
So hopefully that'll do him the world of good now, Burstow.
Settle a few nerves, won't it? And something to take into the second half, something to hold on to now. And
that Burstow, was it?
Burstow's confidence the world of good as well, as it's played up
to
him again,
Burstow.
Headed away by
Burstow.
Thompson and by Rose, throwing up towards Thompson on the left, or Gooch. Thompson it is on the left wing.
Yeah,
just winning a throw. So nerves calmer now. Sunderland leading, heading into half time in the last minute of the 45. Ekwa in the box as well to nod that ball back down to Burstow.
Will you be happy with a point, lads?
And I think, you know, you look at Ekwa, I think he's happier playing further forward, didn't he?
I think he is. Yeah. I think he is, but 1 minute, and we're into that minute now. You know, a question I put to Michael Beal, but he still sees him as number 8. Junho's gone down, but no penalty. Another long look at it from Andy Davis that walks away, jogs away from that. Again, went down a bit too easily.
He didn't even complain himself.
No. And we've got 30 seconds of the first half remaining.
Clark Russell by
picks the ball up in front of the advancing
Tyrese
Great
about
Campbell.
Beal, mate. I follow Hibs in Scotland. I know a lot about Beal.
Drifting towards this near side.
The Sunderland shot. I can't find the words to describe how bad Beal is.
Waiting for Patterson's kick.
Not a good
word. Up to Bar, gets his head on it, but it'll come back to Rose, and Burstow's come closing down. Rose plays it into the goalkeeper Iverson, chased by Burstow. The referee looks at his watch. I think he'll blow any second now. Does indeed. And Sunderland will head down the tunnel at half-time, leading 1-0, courtesy of Mason Burstow.
Yeah, and again, you know, it's important.
Stephen Lane, I have to say,
you know, who scored the first goal. You know, you've got to say Stoke have had 1 or 2 opportunities, but we've had 1 or 2 good opportunities as well. But it was good that Burstow's got on the end, and hopefully that'll boost his confidence.
A strike the goal, a rarity.
Fingers crossed, fingers crossed.
Burstow will take
confidence from that. You can see the way he whipped up the crowd at the end of after the celebration. So he clearly, you could see what it means.
It hasn't been a bad performance.
It means a lot, no doubt, to Michael Beal for his team to take the lead, because the atmosphere and the agenda could have been very much different if Stoke City had scored one of those chances they had earlier on in the game.
Yeah, and you've got to say they have looked lively. They've had one or two good opportunities, but you know, we've got to make sure that we switched on in the second half, because you know, you can see they are a threat at times going forward.
Drawn a lot of games over the last
says get Russian playing off Burstow, goal 3-5-2.
Stephen Schumacher took over, and after he's taken over as well. It's only one goal in it. Stoke will look to try and get back in as soon as possible at the start of the second half. Sunderland had to be mindful of that, but Burstow has given them the lead. A reminder, don't forget, Colin White will give you all the numbers to phone Benno at the end of the afternoon, because no doubt you'll want to talk about Alex Pritchard. Sure, you'll get a few calls on that. And maybe on
the faith with lads,
game as well.
Stevie, also Mowbray was a manager
afternoon. Half time though here at the Stadium of Light. The second half to come, of course, on BBC Radio Newcastle and SAFC.com. It's Sunderland 1, Stoke City 0.
On BBC iPlayer.
How long have you been single?
A while.
You're a witch. Together we could do anything.
John Yule, the next
witch in Manchester. You're doing something to humans. I can tell you don't want to be. I'm not convinced that humans and witches can ever make it work.
Bring her here.
I feed off of others.
You can't feel the danger you're in?
What danger?
Domino Day.
Back in a second, guys.
Supernatural drama. Domino Day. Watch all episodes from next Wednesday on BBC iPlayer.
Total Sport North East.
BBC Radio Newcastle.
Sunderland are winning and a striker has scored. Sunderland leads Stoke City by a goal to nil at half-time. Mason Burstow 2 minutes before the break. We'll be back with Nick Barnes and Gary Bennett for full commentary of the second half in about 10 minutes time. Only one other game in the Championship today because of all the FA Cup ties, and it's one apiece between Millwall and Preston. Zion Fleming for Millwall after 5 minutes. Brad Potts equalising for Preston after half an hour. So Sunderland leads Stoke and it's Millwall 1, Preston 1. In the FA Cup fourth round, there had already been 5 games across Thursday and Friday night, but probably the result of the round, unless something utterly spectacular happens tomorrow, at Maidstone of National League South, 4th in National League South, went to Ipswich, 2nd in the Championship, and beat them by 2 goals to 1. Lamar Reynolds gave them the lead just before half-time. Jeremy Sarmiento on loan from Brighton equalised for Ipswich 10 minutes into the second half. Maidstone took the lead for the second time after 66 minutes through Sam Corn, and they held on. 8 minutes of injury time at the end as well. Lucas Kovalan, their goalkeeper, one of the heroes, as he wasted as much time as he possibly could legally in injury time. And Maidstone become the lowest ranked non-league team to reach the last 16 of the FA Cup since Blythe Spartans way back in 1978. So huge congratulations to Maidstone. In the 4 3 o'clock games in the FA Cup, Luton are 1-0 up away at Everton. A Vitaly Mikalenko own goal 5 minutes before half-time is the difference there. Leeds are 1-0 up on Plymouth. Jaden Anthony with the goal. No goals though in the all-championship battle between Leicester and Birmingham. Brighton of the Premier League are 2-1 up at Sheffield United. Facundo Buonanotte and a Joao Pedro penalty put Brighton 2 up. Gustavo Hamer got one back for Sheffield United. And Fulham against Newcastle United is a 7 o'clock kickoff, and we'll come back to that one in a couple of minutes' time.
Total Sport North East.
On the station with Newcastle and Sunderland commentary exclusively live.
BBC Radio Newcastle.
Into League One then. Exeter 2-0 up at Barnsley at the break. Jack Aitchison and Reece Cole. Goalless between Blackpool and Charlton. Bristol Rovers though 2-0 up on Oxford United. Chris Martin and Luke Thomas. Cambridge 0, Burton Albion 0, but Bolton now 2-0 up at Carlisle. Zachary Ashworth and Edmund Paris Magoma. No goals in the next 4 games in this list. Derby Cheltenham, Lincoln City against Peterborough, Northampton against Shrewsbury, and Port Vale against Portsmouth, all goalless. But Reading are drawing 1-1 at home to Leyton Orient. The away side took the lead through Dan Aguier from the penalty spot, but Harvey Nibbs equalised for Reading 4 minutes later. Wigan are 2-1 up on Stevenage, a Josh McGuinness penalty, and Theo Asgar making it 2 for Wigan. Jamie Reid equalised for Stevenage in between times. And Fleetwood lead 2-0 at Wycombe Wanderers. Promise Omacheri and Jayden Stockley.
Total Sport North East.
The Newcastle and Sunderland AFC podcast.
On BBC Sounds.
BBC Radio Newcastle.
Into League 2, where AFC Wimbledon are now 1-0 up on Mansfield. Mansfield had a man sent off, Jordan Bowery, after just 20 minutes. And AFC Wimbledon have taken the lead through Omar Bajil on the stroke of half-time. Crewe Alexandra are now 2-1 up on Salford City. 2 in the last 2 or 3 minutes of the first half after Matt Smith had given Salford the lead after just 4 minutes. Stockport County, the leaders, Rangers 3-0 up away at Doncaster. Paddy Madden early on, then an own goal from Owen Bailey, formerly of Newcastle United and Gateshead, and then Conor Lemonhay-Evans making it 3-0 to Stockport. Accrington Stanley are 1-0 up away at Forest Green Rovers, a Jack Nolan penalty. Grimsby 1, Tranmere 1, MK Dons 0, Gillingham 0, Colchester lead 1-0 at Morecambe through Arthur Reid, Barrow lead 1-0 at Notts County through Cian Spence, Swindon Town 1, Bradford City 0, a Charlie Austin penalty early on, and it's Walsall 1, Sutton United 1.
Total Sport North East.
BBC Radio Newcastle.
Into non-league then, Gateshead 0, Barnet 1 at half-time in National League. Nicky Kabamba with Barnet's goal. It's Blythe Spartans 0, Warrington 1 in National League North, but also in National League North it's now South Shields 1, Boston United 2. Boston United took the lead early on. Dylan Morse equalised for Shields, and then in pretty much the last minute of the first half, Boston scored their second. In the NPL Premier Division, Morpeth now 3-0 down at home to Hyde United. But our game of the day is in the NPL East Division. Dunstan on a terrific winning run, welcoming top of the table Stockton Town, and Paul Dixon can bring us up to speed at half-time.
Very, very competitive game here this afternoon, Colin. Half-time score, Dunstan 0, Stockton 0. And it was Dunstan who had the first chance on 15 minutes. Dale Robinson in on goal, a superb pass by Richard Coulson. Robinson just overran the ball. Stockton keeper Harker made a fine save diving at Robinson's feet. And then back at the other end, it's Stockton were asking for a penalty. Stephen Thompson went down in the box, challenged by Dan Staples in the Dunstan goal. Referee having none of it, no penalty. And then on 28 minutes, Josh Baggs had a superb effort, 25 yards out, which just went inches past the post for Stockton. And then 2 minutes later, Lewis King in on goal, chipped his shot wide of the target. Should have done better, a let off for Dunstan. As I've said, a very competitive first half, all to play for in the second half, nils each at half time.
Paul, thank you very much. Elsewhere in that East Division, Consett 3-0 up on Cleethorpes, having scored 3 in 10 minutes. Scott Fenwick, Will Shaw and Ben Ramsey. Ashington won 3-0 at Cleethorpes in midweek. Ashington themselves, though, are 1-0 down at home to Sheffield FC at the break, and Hebburn are 1-0 down away at North Ferriby. In the Scottish Lowland League, it's Berwick Rangers 0, Broomhill 0 at half-time. We'll do our local football roundup at 5:45 as always, and just to tell you that Sunderland women now lead 2-0 at Blackburn Rovers in the Women's Championship. It kicked off at 2 o'clock, so only 4 or 5 minutes left in it. Katie Kitching and Emily Scarr in the second half. Blackburn 0, Sunderland 2.
Matt Bailey at breakfast.
Now, over the last few days, you might have seen a video doing the rounds of a raccoon taken in Pennywell. Well, the man who filmed that video is Wesley, and he joins me on the phone.
It ran out in front of the road. I was thinking a badger at first, but I see its tail in there. My son says that's a raccoon.
Now, there is a warning not to go near them, because I think they're either proper hard or incredibly stupid, because they are the only living thing that has ever dared to wander around Sunderland in black and white stripes. So
Matt Bailey at breakfast.
Back Monday morning
from 6.
BBC Radio Newcastle.
There's been another goal in the FA Cup. It's Sheffield United 2, Brighton 2 now on the stroke of half-time. William Osula with the equaliser for Sheffield United, who were 2-0 down. Sunderland 1-0 up on Stoke City at the break. We'll be back with Nick Barnes and Gary Bennett in about 5 minutes' time. I mentioned, though, that Newcastle United are playing tonight. That is our second commentary of the day. The Magpies are at Fulham in the 4th round of the FA Cup. Eddie Howe was asked in his pre-match press conference by our very own Matthew Raisbeck whether his side was feeling energised after a fortnight off.
I hope. Can never guarantee it, but I hope, and from what I've seen in training, I think we will see a very energetic performance, and hopefully a really good technical one, because we've done a lot of work in that area.
FA Cup again this weekend. Massive result for you in the last round, winning a derby and getting the cup run going. How important will this competition continue to be for you this season if you can stay in it?
Yes, it's a big moment in our season, as the Sunderland game was, and the lads really responded to that challenge. This is an important competition for us now. It takes on a new dynamic because of what's gone before. We are desperate to get our best form back. I think there's signs of that against Sunderland and Manchester City. So yeah, we take this game very seriously.
Very finally, Fulham away, so it's an all Premier League match. I guess you'd rather have been at home, but you beat them only a few weeks ago. What do you make of the challenge that you'll face there?
Yeah, tough game. I think you look at the game against Liverpool that they had a couple of days ago, and that was a really good game, high quality game. And I thought Fulham were close, created a number of chances, and I thought we were pretty good in the game. And Marco's done a brilliant job. I think they continue to improve and grow, which is always very difficult in the league that we're in. So we know it'll be a tough game.
That's Newcastle United's head coach Eddie Howe talking to Matthew Raisbeck ahead of tonight's game at Fulham. Razor will be joined by Steve Howie from 6 o'clock this evening to start the build-up to that 7 o'clock kick-off. We go straight to Rugby Union next, because Newcastle Falcons, fresh from a win at Perpignan last weekend, had the small matter of a Premiership game away to leaders Northampton this afternoon. It kicked off at 2 o'clock, so it has just finished. Dean Gray was commentating. It's another domestic defeat, Dean, but you have been entertained this afternoon.
Absolutely entertained, Colin. A wonderful stadium, a great day to play rugby. The weather's been well nigh perfect. I'm with Tamara Taylor, the legend that is the Red Rose captain, 115 caps, and my little brother will be buying all the beers tonight because his team won, because he's a Northampton Saints supporter, Colin. So yeah, 19-13 at half time. Saints have scored 3 tries, but Newcastle looked really threatening. Their attacking shape was really good. They scrambled defensively pretty well, and an even game. Northampton Saints though came back strongly in the second half to take the game eventually. Final score here 38-13, but there's a lot of positives from a Newcastle point of view to be really pleased with. The negative would be the line-out didn't work particularly well, and they were nilled second half when they allowed Northampton Saints to score 3 tries in the second half to end up with a fairly substantial victory. But the building blocks are in there for Newcastle. They'll be heartened by a lot of what they did and a lot of the way that they played this afternoon. Ultimately they were guilty of not taking the opportunities that they had created and lacking that accuracy to put them away.
Dean, thank you very much indeed for that. There will be a post-match interview from Dean. It's Mickey Ward's final game in interim charge, isn't it? We will play some of that out at half-time in the Newcastle United match this evening. In Rugby League, the Newcastle Thunder season is underway, but it's not off to the greatest of starts in the 1895 Cup group stage. They're at home to York City Knights. They were 6-0 up in the opening 5 minutes, Newcastle Thunder. By half-time, they are 46-6 down. It has not gone particularly well in the opening 40 minutes of rugby for them. In basketball's WBBL, the Durham Palatinates beaten earlier on this afternoon by 75 points to 62 at home to the Leicester Riders. On the other side of the world, a century from Ollie Pope's given England's cricketers a bit of hope in the first test against India in Hyderabad. He's unbeaten on 148. England are 316 for 6 now in their second innings. They have a lead of 126. And in Australia, Arina Sabalenka has successfully defended her Australian Open women's singles title. She beat China's Zheng Xinwen by 6-3, 6-2 in 2 sets to win back-to-back titles in Melbourne. She is the first player to win back-to-back women's Australian Open singles titles since another Belarusian did it in 2013. That was Victoria Azarenka. The men's final is tomorrow morning, our time, live on BBC Radio 5 Live. But we are going back right now to the Stadium of Light, because Sunderland leads Stoke City by 1-0 at the break. Mason Burstow 2 minutes before half-time. Full commentary of the second half coming with Nick Barnes and Gary Bennett.
Half-time highlights.
Total Sport North East.
BBC Radio Newcastle.
Job finds Clark on the shoulder of Gooch. He's going to go round him. Clark at the edge of the penalty area, into the penalty area. Clark here on his left, and a right left foot saved by the keeper. Drops here on the line. It's in. Burstow scores. Persistence paid off. The initial save by the left foot of the goalkeeper came down to Eku, who pushed it back in, and Burstow on the goal line squeezed it under the goalkeeper, and Burstow whipping up the Roker end.
Total Sport North East.
Nick Barnes and Gary Bennett, MBE.
BBC Radio Newcastle.
So, someone saying at half-time that they think might be an own goal. Should be ironic. We'll grant it to Burstow for the time being.
You've got to. He was the nearest one to the ball,
wasn't he? Just to recap on today's events, Mason Burstow then giving Sunderland that lead. Earlier today, the club issued a statement about Alex Pritchard. He's expressed his desire to leave Sunderland with immediate effect. On Friday morning, Alex Pritchard informed the club he was no longer available for selection, and he subsequently withdrew from today's matchday squad. This also surrounds his contract.
Are you doing the socials, Dan, for you?
1 year extension, but
all right.
I'm informed by the club
I was just
last
out the back,
year he was trying to leave but couldn't get a club. They brought in Dak and Job ahead of him.
Living on your Peach is not till later on.
And now it looks like there is another club who would like to sign Pritchard, but there's no bid being made as yet. But Pritchard has decided that he wants to leave. He won't sign the contract extension. A year extension has been offered to him on the same terms as the contract he's currently on, but he has decided that he wants to leave, and he has withdrawn from the squad. Both sets of players for the second half.
I'm just going to read some of the chats.
Can Sunderland build on that one-goal lead?
Stevie Carras Mowbray did a great job.
Need a little bit of as it stands at 1-0. Focusing the game.
Very much so, and you can't discount them. They had a number of chances in the first half, Stoke.
Jennifer says
but Patterson and O'Nien kept Sunderland in the game. Two good saves from Patterson and a clearance on the line. Luke O'Nien making his 250th appearance. The ball floats up here from Stoke on the right. They kicked off the second half. They're attacking the lower end in the second half in their navy blue.
I'm sure Chris is a decent manager
Sunderland,
and
of course, in their red and white stripes. Lyndon Gooch
to replace him with Beal.
Stoke made 5 changes at the start of the afternoon. Lerris trying to get in down the right of the penalty area, pokes it through to Cundall, who pulls it back here for Campbell, who's taken it down on his left foot, spun round on it and drives it over the bar.
Jonathan.
But that could have been a different story so early in the second half.
Early signs already, Nick.
Got in down the right.
Pritchard is leaving.
Campbell,
doubt we will get a replacement in this window.
Half volley over the top. So still 1-0 to Sunderland. Live here on BBC Radio Newcastle.
They cannot try to play
out. Sunderland coming
two
is a huge for league positions.
Two at the edge of the penalty area. Junio
seems surprising.
Campbell, so it is played long by
2005 last time
Patterson up through the middle. Barr trying to get on the end of it, and he's blocked by Wilmot. And as he tried to go round him, the ball runs back to Iverson, the lowly goalkeeper from Leicester, to clear.
And I'll get in touch with you after the game if you want.
Stoke trying to push forwards down the left wing.
Says, don't know how the hell we are.
Plays it back to Thompson, the left back. Into
why don't we get a second? And Stevie says, why is Pritchard wanting away?
Here's Lerris out wide on the right. Gooch just inside of him. Gooch now trying to swing it forwards for Campbell to run onto, but O'Nien gets there first and steers it back towards Patterson to clear. He does over the head of Campbell, drops for Berger.
So that's the comments caught up with, and now I will shut up so we can listen to the commentary.
Celtic, and he swings it across the Montenegrin international to Lerris, and then he finds Gooch. Right side of the Sunderland penalty area, trying to get across in here now, Gooch, and it's rolled straight through into the hands of Patterson in front of Campbell in the 6-yard box.
I know what that could easily have been a known goal if Luke O'Nien
had made contact to it. Would have flicked up off him. Patterson then has the ball, drops it to his feet in bright yellow, away to our right, looking for the run of Sealt. Headed away by Haksabanovic. Barr will get to it first in the centre circle. Berger on his shoulder. Barr comes right across here to Clark. Clark now trying to cut back inside and into the centre circle. Rolls it to Ballard. Ballard out wide again to Sealt. And he plays it inside, short though for Ekwa. And Junio is able to cut it out. Now looking for Campbell down the left wing. O'Nien's gone with him. Campbell still wide, plays it back behind him to Thompson, and Thompson now will take on Sealt, and he tackles the left back, and it's a throw to Stoke. 48th minute, Sunderland 1, Stoke City 0. Cundall inside to Junio, tries to find Campbell, comes back down here for Haksabanovic, but cleared, and it's a ball for Barr to try and exploit as Burstow makes a run. He's played it across to the left though to Clark. Gooch chasing back with him. Clark gets the ball in front of Lyndon Gooch. Gooch backing off into the penalty area. Clark still going. Clark rolling it now for Barr!
Oh, well done, Jack Clark.
2-0! Abdullah Barr smashes it past Everson, and Sunderland done 2-0 up in the 49th minute.
You can say that to 1-2, isn't it, really, because it was a great pass by Barr to find Clark, and he returned the pass to Barr with a great finish.
Sorry, Stevie.
Composed finish, Just ran onto it in the penalty area and drove it low under Everson, and Sunderland 2-0 up here at the Stadium of Light, and Barr with his third goal of the season. Composed finish, did really well, kept his head, kept the ball low as he struck it down.
That's what he wants to do. See what happens.
But what a good break that was from Sunderland.
And again, good play by Jack Clark, good awareness.
As you say, Barr set the whole thing up.
Do you know what's happening there? Everybody's thinking that Clark's going to do his trademark run, shoot, and he's caught them all out there by saying, no, I'm going to pass the ball. And it's totally caught them off guard.
Now Sunderland, bit of a comfort zone for them, 2-0 up. We've got to exploit that now and try and keep the clean sheet. And here is Dan Neil bringing it up over the halfway line. He's got out wide Barr now, Ekwa making a run, played back inside to Neil to Barr, back behind him to Dan Neil, and Neil into the middle here to Silt to his left to Job, and back to Clark from Hume on the left hand side, rolls it into Ekwa, trying to find Barr. Thompson gets it back to the goalkeeper. So how the narrative
might get a draw now.
Sunderland 2-0 up, and this after an eventful day which saw that statement from the club about Alex Pritchard and
any chance of a Stoke goal, Stevie?
Desire to leave and won't play again.
Could still bloom and lose this, no knows.
Ball back with Wilmot for Stoke, out to Gooch on the right hand side, forwards to Leris, back to Gooch through legs of Hume, and now into the path of O'Nien as Gooch tried to get the ball into Tyrese Campbell just outside the Sunderland penalty area. And they come again, Haksabanovic down the left to Kundle, tackled by Ballard. The ball will roll back to Haksabanovic on the left wing on the touchline, plays it back inside and just behind him to Thompson back to Haksabanovic eventually down his left hand side. He's tackled, it's a corner to Stoke City. Barr sliding in, a fifth Stoke corner. Sunderland leading.
Michael Beale's red and white army.
So
oh my god.
From the left, this corner kick.
He is playing well.
Haksabanovic with it, swings it in, and it's headed away by Ballard impressively to the back of the area. Kundle trying to put it back in again. Patterson stretches above Wilmot and catches the ball. Sunderland 2, Stoke City 0, 53rd minute, and it's out quickly to Clark on his left-hand side. Burstow's sprinting through the middle. Clark still going down the left of the penalty area, trying to shake off Gooch. Here's his cross, but over the top of Burstow, and Wilmot will get the ball away on the far side. Drives it down the line to Haksabanovic, who's not going to keep it in. Runs out for a throw to Sunderland on the right.
And I think the only negative about that, Nick, is that we don't get enough players breaking the neck to get forward. We only had one option.
This is a very poor Stoke side, this one.
But it's still 2-0. The ball played back to Ballard, back again to Patterson, passing it to Luke O'Nien on the left of the penalty area. He taps it back to Patterson. And Sunderland women have won 2-0 at Blackburn this afternoon. Well done to Mel Ray's team. 2 wins in the week in the Championship.
What's everybody mourning about, man?
And we'll find out on Monday what the situation is with their Conti Cup progress and whether they will be pushed forward into the next round as a consequence of the ineligible player played by Aston Villa in the week. Here's O'Nien again on the
well, we have to forget we have got some
bringing it up
decent
towards the
players
halfway line.
We are a good team.
Clark calling for it, but he's gone through the middle, Joe, but he's just feigned and shaken off Berger and Kundle in the same movement, and now gets Sealed in on the right hand side, and a deflection takes it behind for a corner to Sunderland. Only their second of the game, first of the second half.
Well done, Joe. Good movement there.
Barr is strolling across to take the corner on the right hand side at the north end of the stadium. goals on either side of half-time for Sunderland has put them into this position.
Is this the turnaround for Beal, do you think?
And
going to win 7 on the bounce?
Gone past Barr now to the corner to take the kick himself. Barr still down there on that right side. Clark, plenty of bodies in the box. Burstow on the
Middlesbrough next, isn't it? Middlesbrough next.
Clark who whips this in here now. It's headed away by Lyndon Gooch at the near post. Ekwa pulls it back to Hume in the centre circle. Looking for O'Nien wide on the left here. Takes it on his chest, brings it down, plays it back behind him to Job. Job inside now to Neil. Neil twisting away from Wouterberger into the centre circle, trying to shake off the Dutchman. Plays it across to O'Nien on the left. Back again to Hume, into the middle to Ballard, and then to Sealt on the right. Drives it up, looking for Burstow. Cut away by Rose, straight to Sealt. Intercepted that well. Now he's pushing on through the middle. Leaves it for Job. Job out to Clark on the left-hand side. Gooch in front of him. Clark taking him on again. Clark trying to go around the back of him, but loses it at the edge of the penalty area. Leris will knock this out, and it's won back by Job, who just strides across and plays the ball back into the centre now to Dan Ballard.
Fun in Jackie White's tomorrow.
Seeing a bit more of the old Job here, yes. I think, this afternoon. And here's Neil getting through the middle, but gives the ball away to Leris. And he plays it back to Everson, all in orange.
I was just about to sing Screw Alex Neil, but I can't.
Passing it out to Ben Wilmot, through the middle to Berger. Berger now looking for Leris, wide on the right, just in front of Stephen Schumacher. Back behind him is Gooch. Gooch out to Leris again on this right wing. He's trying to shake off Job. Job goes with him. Leris plays it behind to Wilmot. Wilmot now out wide again to Gooch on the right wing, and he will dribble at the corner of the penalty area onto his left foot. Tries a shot, headed away by O'Nien, straight down to Haksabanovic. He's trying to shake off Sealt.
Well done.
Still has it though. Ekwa's trying to win it off him. Haksabanovic still going, just outside the D. And then a little back heel to Gooch, who tried to pass it into the penalty area. O'Nien hooks it clear, and it's Clark chasing Wilmot, and the Wilmot's managed to play the ball back to the goalkeeper.
Charlie left himself open at the back.
They have left themselves very wide open at the back, actually. And Neil picks it up in the centre circle. Burstow's calling for it, but he's gone right. It's gone Barr. Barr down the right side of the penalty area, pulls it back for Clark. Clark right-footed. It's past the post. Came off a defender. Looked like it was going in for an own goal, but it's gone round the post. It's a corner to Sunderland.
Excellent, well picked out Barr. Unlucky Jack Clark, but you've got to say Stoke City.
What happened there?
Well, they haven't got a defence, have they?
They just push everybody up.
We're murdering these at the minute, like.
Clark then down here on the left.
It's a very
with Barr.
It's a very angry Sunderland side, this.
10 yards away. Clark at the north end of the stadium. Sunderland leading 2-0. It's hooked in towards the far post. It's somehow scrambled to the edge of the area. Ballard plays it out to Barr. Barr down the left again to Clark. Clark looks up, swings this in towards the far post. Caught by the keeper. Burstow was behind him. And it's driven out by Iverson, looking for Cundle's run down the right wing here. Just takes it down on the line in front of Ekwa. The ball goes out, throw to Sunderland.
Well done, Ekwa.
He's working hard this afternoon, Ekwa. Hume will take this throw on the left-hand side, 58th minute, nearly played 58 minutes now. 2-0 to Sunderland, live on BBC Radio Newcastle. Later on this evening, 6 o'clock build-up, 7 o'clock kick-off. Razor and Steve Howie, at Craven Cottage tonight for their FA Cup 4th round tie, live on BBC Radio Newcastle. Ekwa again, Barr puts it out. Throw to Stoke City.
A double substitution.
Yeah, it looks like Ryan Mai is going to come on.
You're welcome, Graham.
The starters forward, and Nathan Lowe has just been handed a new contract, 4-year contract, I think, at Stoke. The 18-year-old who's come through the academy. In fact, they're going to make a triple substitution by the looks of things. Andre Vidigal looks like he's going to come on the foul on Sealt.
Good hell, I've just seen Jurgen Klopp. There's Jurgen Klopp sitting there with his cup on.
So a free kick.
Come on! Come on!
Sunderland.
He was cleaning them.
And they're about to make these changes. Stephen
Oh, could be his brother, couldn't he?
Everton won, Luton won in the FA Cup. Almost on the hour mark. Here come the changes. Lowe is coming on for Haksabanovic. So that's the first change being made. Much easier to pronounce Nathan Lowe. Kundl is coming on now for Vidigal. Coming off Vidigal. And the final change, I'm assuming Campbell will come off for Mai. Yeah, indeed.
Yeah.
So Campbell, Kundl and Haksabanovic all depart, and Mai, Vidigal and Lowe arrive. Sunderland lead 2-0 and have a free kick on the right corner of the Sunderland penalty area, which Ballard will take after being fouled. Ryan Mai, Turkish international, 4 goals in 12 appearances. He's up front with Nathan Lowe, 1 goal this season at Bristol City in the Championship. Ryan Mai has 3 in the Championship. The ball comes back to goalkeeper Daniel Everson, rolls it out to Michael Rose, who plays it back to Everson, drives it longer, looking here for Leris, who chests it down to Lyndon Gooch, inside then to Junio, who plays it back to Rose, chased by Burstow. It's played down the left wing to Thompson. No, Thompson's further forwards. It's to Vidigal, I think.
I think you will, Stephen.
Berger now just tapping it behind him, and it's played back by Thompson to Rose. Out
but I do tune into
the Vidigal on the left wing,
the
inside to
channel
Thompson, looking
on
for the run of Vidigal down the left of the penalty area, but Ballard's got in front of him.
3 great guys that have a bit of banter and stuff on there, and I often watch
Sunderland
that.
Still lead 2-0, 80 into the 62nd minute.
See you later. Thank God he's gone. Jesus Christ.
Anthony Patterson placing the ball between the 2 centre backs, but there are 2 forwards for
yeah, I do watch
Stoke.
they do a tune channel and
the
stuff,
edge of the
banter's good.
Area.
like
Patterson
good
kicks
guys.
up over the halfway line. Rose heads it powerfully.
It's just interesting to get what's going on in the northeast.
Chasing it is Mai, but it's been turned away by Silt to Ekwa.
There was a bit of Mickey taking and stuff of it.
Just inside the Sunderland half, Ekwa just pushing the ball away, and the throw taken by Thompson to Junio, who plays it back to Rose. Forwards again on halfway to Junio, chased down by Ekwa, plays it back to Wilmot just in the Stoke half, out wide here now to Leris. Gooch ran forwards down the right. Leris is trying to play it through the middle for Lowe. It's played out though by Sunderland by O'Nien, comes out to Clark. Gooch tries to leap at it and get the ball off Clark. Clark turns away from Leris, then bundled down by Berger.
That's a booking. It should be a booking, that.
Free kick on halfway on the left touchline. Leris helps Clark to his feet. Hume comes out to take the free kick. Just a yard short of the halfway line, lifting it up, looking for Burstow. And a foul by Burstow on Wilmot. A bit too aggressive. Wilmot will pick himself up. Free kick to Stoke City. We're in the 64th minute. 2 goals, Mason Burstow and Abdullah Barr for Sunderland. Sheffield United 2, Brighton 3 in the FA Cup this afternoon. Rose brings the ball out to Thompson wide, and then back to Michael Rose. And the 28-year-old centre-back plays it to Ben Wilmot. Wilmot
bringing it up towards the halfway line on the right and swinging it again out to the left, looking for the Portuguese Andre Vidigal. He's got Silt to come past. Vidigal now trying to get forwards to Junho, but he crosses himself, looking for Lowe. It will drop here for Leris. Oh, and he's put it wide of the foot of the post. I think he'll be thinking he should have done a lot better.
Yeah, you've got to hit the target there, Nick.
A couple of inches to the right, and that has snaked in, but it's gone wide of the foot of the post.
But again, you know, they are creating one or two opportunities. We've seen that in the first half.
They've still got a threat, there's no question. Sunderland can just keep calm, manage the game. Kick from Patterson, it's gone deep into the Stoke half, but it's pushed back up into the Sunderland half. Ballard has to get back in front of Vidigal, and will pass it back to Patterson. Lowe went to close him down. Patterson clears straight to Berger, but Job does the tidying up here. Gateshead one, Barnett one. Clark loses Gooch, and now sprints in field with the ball, tries to get up to Burstow. He tried to hook it onto Barr, but didn't get any strength behind the pass. And Stoke come again. Vidigal is the player racing onto this if he can. The pass from Mai, and Vidigal down the left of the Sunderland penalty area is not tripped, says the referee, by Silt. Out comes the Dutchman with the ball, and he now goes round the back of Berger, plays it out to the left here to Clark. Clark, as Job jogs on, Burstow in the middle, it's just rolled into the path of Neil, tries to get it back to Clark. Clark lobbing it into the penalty area, but into the hands of the goalkeeper. Still Sunderland 2, Stoke City 0. 66th minute. The ball pushed out to Berger, and Berger now plays it through to Mai. Mai out wide to Leris. Leris, as Stoke flooding players into the penalty area. Leris pulls it in, and it's put over the top by Mai. You won't get many easier chances than that, and he casually just put his right foot through it over the bar.
Well, Nick, you're looking at this game, and it's 2-0 at the moment, but it could easily be something like 4-3.
Yeah, it could be. It could be. But that was such a casual miss from Ryan Mai.
No, and again, not work the goalkeeper.
Tom Watson and Ben Crompton warming up from the Sunderland substitutes bench. Here's a foul by Junio on Dan Neil. Free kick for Sunderland, left side midfield. Leris apologises.
Yeah, I think you just got to make sure the players are switched on for the last 20 odd minutes of this game, Nick, because we've always said that 2-0 is a strange score, isn't it? Who gets the next?
Yeah, but whoever scores the next goal, isn't it? If Sunderland could get a third, it's a nice ball played by Silt to Barr down the right side of the penalty area. He pulls it back for Silt again. Ekwa was behind him. Silt still going, trying to get through the penalty area. Goes down in the end. Overstretched himself, really. And Everson rolls the ball out here to Wilmot. There's be a sense of urgency from Stoke if they want to get something from the game here. Lowe trying to get the ball away from Neil, and Job gets it back to Wilmot, plays it through the middle. Junho plays it back to Thompson, and out from Mai to Vidigal. Vidigal on the left-hand side. Junio's calling for it in the edge of the penalty area. The strike from Vidigal, I'm not sure that was a cross. I think he was trying to smash one from a long way out, but it's gone out for a Stoke throw. Comes back here to Junio, and he is being pushed back out by Ekwa, but gets the ball forwards again here to Mai. Back to Junio, but he plays it right through the penalty area. Couldn't pick out Nathan Lowe, and it's a goal kick in the 69th minute to Sunderland, who still lead 2-0. Live on BBC Radio Newcastle. Next weekend, of course, 12 o'clock kick-off on the Sunday at Middlesbrough. This and Millwall Preston, the only two championship games being played today because of the FA Cup. The kick from Patterson, looking for Burstow, headed away by Wilmot, and it comes down off Neil for Hume and Job. Job away on the left-hand side now. Job, he's got Clark behind him, he's holding off Berger. Job backheels the ball to Clark. Clark
just flicks it inside to Ekwa. He tried to play the dummy to let it run through. He was tripped by Wilmot, but no free kicks as the referee. And it's out here on the right touchline with Leris, who swings it back to the goalkeeper. Drives it out first time, up towards the halfway line. Sealt puts it onto the head of Ekwa, who gets it down to Bar on the right side of the penalty area. Mason Burstow's in the middle. Ekwa's behind him! Yeah. Ekwa! 3-0. Pierre Ekwa just smashed it in the bottom right corner with his left foot, and Sunderland lead by 3 goals to 0 in the 70th minute.
And that's another 1-2, Nick. Ekwa's header into Bar. Bar returns the ball. Good finish. And again, you look at Ekwa, and he looks a lot more, shall we say, comfortable playing in a forward position. More forward than sitting.
Yes. Bar has been involved in both goals. And Ekwa, 16 yards out, made no mistake. Sunderland then now very much in the driving seat. We spoke about whoever
Get
scores
in, lads,
next
come
goal, and that
on.
was Sunderland. That's surely wrapped the game up with 20 minutes left.
Do the shaking
from a
back
Sunderland
and put the freshness
point
back.
of view.
Do the shaking back and
Like to
Mike
get a
and
couple
Beal is
more and
back.
keep a
Come on!
clean sheet. Leris is coming off, and Lewis Baker is coming on from a Chelsea.
Click that thumbs up, guys, if you're
No,
happy with this result so far.
This change
Get in.
71st minute. Sunderland 3, Stoke City 0. I think you're phoning after the match. Benno might swing a bit more towards the football side of things and away from Alex Pritchard, the way things are going.
You think so?
Well, I think it's probably a 50-50 at the minute. 50-50.
It's
a couple more goals, and
you've got to say, you know, at times.
Well, the percentage now is 43%. We're going to win today now.
It's as though, you know, a couple of tweaks, and they seem to be working. Here's Baker, Lewis Baker, 28 years old now.
Been a while since I've been able to see it. And
getting it back,
screen.
playing it here to Wilmot. And Stephen Schumacher must be watching on and thinking, well, that's
happy with a draw.
Game over,
happy
really.
with a draw,
Can't
lads.
see them surely scoring 3 or 4 goals.
Happy with a draw.
In fact, the way they play and push everybody forward, you can see Sunderland scoring another 1 or 2 perhaps. Is Barr battling with Rose, who gets the ball back from the touchline in his own half to the goalkeeper. It's passed out to Wilmot. Burstow gives chase. Wilmot gets it back to Rose, and Wilmot resumes his position in the middle but lets it run through to Berger here. Closed down by Joe, pushes it on to Baker. Ekwa closes him down, pulled back, and comes back eventually to Ballard, then Neal. Ekwa looking for Job. Job now just behind him is Dan Neal in the centre circle. Neal out wide, looked to try and get Sealt to run onto the ball, but played it a little bit too much in advance of him. And it's gone out for a throw to Stoke.
We're destroying them. We're absolutely destroying them.
Ekwa's taken his talent 3 as well this season. Barr 3 goals this season. Ekwa 3 goals this season. Burstow is first, if it's indeed given to him and not an own goal. Gooch down the touchline here to Junhyo. Hume closes him down. The South Korean plays it back to Wilmot. Wilmot to Rose. This is in the Stoke half still. On to Thompson and Berger, caught by Barr, but a free kick, says the referee, to Stoke.
I know they've got to go try to get back into the game.
They do, don't they? But Leicester 2, Birmingham 0 in the FA Cup. A ball given away here. Baker pushes it on to Junhyo, back to Gooch, down the right again to Junhyo, inside again to Lyndon Gooch. He swings the ball into the penalty area. Flicked over the goal. Sealt over the head of Luke O'Nien. Sealt trying to nod it back into Patterson's hands, and he's nodded it down underneath the keeper. And in the 74th minute, Stoke City have a goal back.
Yeah, it's a great ball in by Lyndon Gooch. And Patterson forward. That was going to just deal with it. I think it's come off his shin. And somehow it's found its way into the net.
It's just
what?
Pushed down in front of Patterson. And
what the hell?
Off it goes, Silk for the own goal, 3-1. And just maybe sows a slight seed of doubt. That third goal, so important from Pierre Ekwa now in this situation.
That's just unlucky, isn't it? My God.
So Sunderland just got to keep their nerve, manage the game. Still pretty much in a commanding position, 3-1 up.
Don't lose it.
We haven't won this yet. I tell you what, Stoke get another one. It's going to be squeaky bum time, isn't it?
For that first, here's Junio, and flicks it into the middle now, and played on to the edge of the area where it takes a deflection, but Patterson managed to keep it in. The shot from Vidigal, and Rusin's going to come on.
Just Bradford, Stevie, for 140 quid.
Good luck. It'll just be a swap, won't it, with Burstow.
All of a sudden, Stoke have found another gear here.
3-1. Rusin waiting to come on. Kick from Patterson up to Job on halfway. Baker has it again. Just behind him is Wilmot. 76th minute now. Down the left-hand touchline, Thompson. Little flick inside for Mai from Vidigal, but it's come back to Ballard. And
we just can't stop scoring today, can we?
Kicks up over halfway. Leeds 1, Plymouth 1 in the FA Cup. Carlisle have pulled a goal back in League One against Bolton. Carlisle 1, Bolton 2. So the ball comes back to Patterson here. Rusin just trying to keep warm on the touchline. Patterson picks the ball up in front of Nathan Lowe. And he waits a moment. Clark wide on the left on the touchline. He throws the ball down. He's kicked this out towards Clark, but it reaches.
Time for some subs on, I think. What do you guys think, guys and girls?
Straight at Luke O'Nien, and now Gooch whips in front, and
great tackle.
O'Nien straight through Gooch to knock the ball away. It comes back to Baker for Stoke on halfway. Taps it back to Rose, across to Wilmot, down the right wing, looking for Junio. And Hume cuts back and cross in front of him. Junio taps it inside to Gooch. Gooch's ball into the penalty area is headed away behind by Sealt for a Stoke corner. It'll be pleased he's got a touch on the ball again after that own goal. Here's Baker from the short corner, and he's on the left, puts it right into the 6-yard box. Job at the corner of that, plays it away up towards the halfway line, and Stoke have to build from the centre spot with Lyndon Gooch. Gooch out to the right here, finding Junio. Junio trying to cut inside, but two in his path. He plays it in to the edge of the area, looking for Mai. Hooked away.
It'd be nervous last 15 minutes if they get a second goal, though, wouldn't it?
Burstow gives chase. It's played down to Vidigal on the left, looking for Baker in the penalty area, but Ballard just
well done.
Manages to stride in front of Baker and knock the ball out for a throw.
Rusin's coming on.
Come on, lads,
will come on for Burstow.
Didn't switch off, for God's sake.
Well, he'll take the credit for that goal. Gets him off the mark, applauded off by the Sunderland fans. He'll take his time, he'll savour the moment. Suddenly breaks into a jog, as I say that. Commentator's curse. And Rusin comes on now. So Rusin on, throw for Stoke City, 18 yards from the corner on the left. Sheffield United 2, Brighton 4, which coincidentally is the scoreline by which they beat Stoke in the third round.
So the subscriber again there, thank you.
Is Berger in the middle of the Sunderland half for Stoke to Gooch to Junio. Junio now has found Wilmot. He plays out to Thompson, to Vidigal on the left of the penalty area. He's got to get the ball in, but Sealt blocks it. It's played out to Barr. Now this is where you say they could catch him on the break. Barr, has he got the legs? Berger gets in front of him. Barr turns and gets away from Berger twice now. He gets away from Baker and now rolls it across here to Hume over the halfway line. Hume taking this on now. Clark on the left, Rusyn through the middle. Clark down the left of the penalty area. He's got to come round Gooch. He's done that. Pulls it back from the goal line. Comes out off the keeper, past Rusyn. Ekwa with his left foot volleys over. Still, it nearly ended in a goal.
Great play by Jack Clark again.
I think Chris Rigg might be coming on. I've got a funny feeling he is.
It's not.
He might as well come on.
Oh!
Stoke looking to build from the back.
Ekwa just lent back a bit
on the
there.
Side. Sunderland 3, Stoke City 1. We're in the 80th minute. Junio back to Wilmot.
And the Stoke City fans there.
To Rose. Forwards to Berger. Berger has got Neil in front of him, plays it wide. To the left, Thompson back inside. Berger swinging the ball across to Junio here. Takes it down on his chest. Great tackle by Hume, but Junio wins it back and plays it back behind him to Wilmot. And he swings it over on the left-hand side, looking for Baker, who puts it out. Does it? No, he heads it in the air, it stays in, and Sealt flicks it back over his head. Now he goes down, holding his face, Sealt. I don't know what went on there. But Sealt is down, clutching his face. The ball's cleared by Ekwa from the edge of the penalty area, and the referee's now stopped the game to see what's the issue with Sealt.
Was he caught with an arm?
It must have
a
been.
Hand.
But he grabbed his face and went down.
Yeah.
Hartlepool 1, York 0. It's Kevin Phillips looking at his first win as Hartlepool manager. Pete Brand sprinting on to treat Sealt. 3 goals then for Sunderland, Burstow, Barr and Ekwa. There's a nice ring about it. Unfortunate own goal from Sealt, who's now lying on his back, getting treatment for the knock in the face. Chris Rigg receiving some instructions from Alessandro Batrini, and another physio running across to treat Sealt here. $41,394, I think that was
41.
41. Well, it's 1,900 from Stoke. It's pretty much been a good crowd. I think there are empty seats, but I think they do count season cards, don't they, in that total. There's pause in the game. A reminder, the phone in at 5 with Benno.
Don't you forget.
Won't forget on the daylight today. If you're 41,394, just confirm that. I've just been shown the score. Philip Scott, Sunderland fans, not there, so he's a season card holder, I think. So he's not. He's been counted, obviously.
He's been counted.
Yes, but he's not there. And Sealt is up on his feet. Yes, the phone in at 5. Talk all things Sunderland at the moment. Pritchard, 3 goals. Looks like it's going to be 3 points.
Chris Rigg coming on, yeah.
Chris Rigg coming on for Job. And that was said with a sort of surprise that Job's coming off. That Job,
he's done well today.
He's done well. He's played well today. He's got back to himself, I think. This 83rd minute change. Chris Rigg applauding as well. Job as he strolls to the side of the pitch. Job acknowledging the crowd. And a big roar for Chris Rigg. Sealt's up on his feet on the far side on the touchline. Into the 84th minute. And here's Clark weaving away from Junio, but Junio's persistent. Ekwa has to take the ball off him, gets it to Hume, and now Rigg's on a break here. Rigg's still going, flicks the ball into Clark, back from Clark, off the head of Rusyn, and is hooked away by Thompson into touch. The irony there is if that had been Burstow, it would have actually been a nice height for him, but Rusyn being the height he is, it wasn't. But at least Rusin got a touch. It's a throw to Sunderland on the left, down by the corner flag. Sealt's been allowed back on. And Stoke about to make another change as well.
Another change, yeah.
Hume with a throw to Clark. Gets it back in. What's the referee saying? Offside. Which is some going from a throw, isn't it? Sunderland managed it. Who's coming on? It looks as though it's Daniel Johnson, the Jamaican international. His hair in a ponytail.
Offside.
Comes out to the edge of the pitch. Maybe the final change from Steven Schumacher this afternoon.
Has Beal had a brilliant
team? Gooch is the player coming off.
Has Beal had a brilliant transplant?
Which is actually a nice touch from Steven Schumacher.
Yeah, excellent.
Lyndon Gooch will appreciate that. The Sunderland fans definitely appreciate that. ...247 appearances for Sunderland, Lyndon Gooch. He didn't quite make the 250 mark, which Luke O'Nien reached today. But
the fans are all on the feet,
standing performance, yeah, and a great servant. Yeah. A true professional, Lyndon Gooch.
Would you have him back?
So
Gooch?
Johnson takes his place, and a throw for Sunderland. They lead 3-1 with 5 minutes less to play. The ball comes off Vidigal for a throw to Sunderland on the left here, and Hume will take the throw. He finds.
Come on, Sunderland, last 10 minutes, please. Get 3
points. Now
Thanks,
flicks
Gooch,
it back to Neil. Neil out to Clark. Clark.
I think it'll be about 5 minutes added on. Would you say?
And then to Clark again, and O'Nien. Ballard runs onto it, and Ballard will play it back to Sealt. Sealt back to O'Nien in the middle of the Sunderland half, and he plays it out to Hume on the left. Riggs made a run. The ball, though, is going to be intercepted by Wilmot. He brings it up to the halfway line. Rigg gives chase, plays it out wide here to Vidigal, but in slides Hume. You can see the throw for Stoke City, which Vidigal will take to Wilmot. 87th minute. And a tackle by Clark. Rigg nearly gets away with the ball, but it's come for Berger.
That's a good tackle.
Berger plays it back to Rose, then to Thompson. He will sweep it down the left wing for Daniel Johnson. And he's played it into Baker. Baker now behind Mai, and the flag is up for offside anyway. Free kick to Sunderland. Ball back with Patterson. Three minutes to play. 3 minutes of the 90 to play. Gateshead 2, Barnet 1. Sunderland 3, Stoke City 1. Here's the kick from Patterson. Rusin beaten in the air by Rose. It comes down for Barr, though. Tries a little back heel past Thompson, but Thompson's got the ball and finds Baker. Back to Wilmot. Wilmot now in the middle of the Stoke City half. And he will play it across to Michael Rose. Stoke in this dark navy blue change kit. Plays it across to Wilmot. And forwards onto the halfway line, almost to Berger. And Berger trying to come round Jack Clark. And, to Vidigal. A little flick from Berger to Vidigal again, who plays it back to Wilmot. And back to Rose. Thompson. Junio in the centre circle. It's for Wilmot, and now looking for the run of Vidigal. Hume's got in front of him and hooks the ball in the air. It'll hang there for a moment. Vidigal brings it down. Hume gets in front of him again, and he's was he pushed in the back? The assistant thinks so. It's a free kick to Sunderland. 3-1. Looks like Sunderland have gone to town on something. It has to be, pointed out. Patterson and 9 in the first half. Couple of saves and a clearance on the line. It could have been a very different story.
Yeah, you've got to look at it, and I think from Stoke's point of view, they'll be saying terrible finishing. They've had opportunities.
Yeah, they've had. Couple of opportunities in the second half where they really should have done better. Mai and Leris spring to mind as Patterson kicks down the left in the 89th minute. It's headed on by Rusin to Clark. Clark now into the penalty area. Clark trying to play it across the face of the 6-yard box for Barr, but it just curled a bit too viciously. Barr's got it though. He's played it back here to Ekwa. Ekwa back to Barr. Barr out on the right touchline, back to Ekwa, looking to get it forwards to Silt. Silt now turning it back into the path of Ekwa, and Ekwa's cross here is too deep. Rusin will sprint after it, but Vidigal should get in front of him. The ball goes out for a throw to Stoke. Leicester 3, Birmingham 0 in the FA Cup. We're in the last minute here. How much will we get added on? A couple of minutes, I suspect. There hasn't been many stoppages. That injury to Silt, 2 to 3 minutes would be my guess. Here's Johnson swinging the ball into the Sunderland half, headed away by Ballard. Silt looking for Barr. Barr, who's had an excellent game this afternoon, thought he was fouled. The referee didn't, nor did the assistant. It's played through to Berger. Berger now looking for the run down the left of Mai. He's challenged by Ballard, who's going to get a yellow card, and that's Ballard's 9th yellow card of the season. 7. Where did he find 7 minutes from? So free kick wide on the left for Stoke City, in the first of those 7 minutes being added on by Andy Davis. He must have taken into account all the substitutions, I guess, and the Silt injury. I don't think there's been much time wasting as such. Mayenda, is it coming on? No, it's Pembele. It's going to come on for Sunderland. 2 in the Sunderland wall, Rusin and Barr, and it's whipped in by Baker, and Ekwa gets his head to it, and it will come away on the left-hand side here for Dan Neil. For Neil. Rusin's trying to sprint away through the middle. Rigg down the left. Clark now to Rigg on the left touchline, trying to get it back to Clark, but sliding in his Vidigal, and it's a throw, and he takes Clark with him off the touchline. In fact, it was Johnson, was it, who came across with Vidigal. So coming off is Barr. Great. I mean, it gives him an opportunity to get an ovation. He deserves it.
He's done well today.
He's played well.
You know, we spoke about him on Total Sport last night. He's finding himself a little bit unlucky not to be in the starting lineup, really.
Daniel having a word in Barr's ear. O'Nien comes across and shows his appreciation. And Timothy Pembele on. Michael Beal, pat on the back for Barr. Michael Proctor, shake of the hand. We played 2 minutes of the 7. Sunderland lead 3-1 if you're just joining us on BBC Radio Newcastle. 7 o'clock tonight we've got full commentary of Newcastle United against Fulham with Matthew Raisbeck and Steve Howie. The ball comes out for a throw to Sunderland on the left, a couple of yards from the corner flag. Rusin working hard. Jogging down to take it is Hume. And Clark is back down the touchline. Rusin and Pembele. I mean, he loves getting forwards, doesn't he? He's in the penalty area, Pembele. And throw to Rigg. Trying to hook it over the head of the defender, but hooks it behind for a goal kick to Stoke City. So the ball passed out by the keeper to Wilmot. Wilmot. Rigg goes to close him down. He plays it across to Rose and to Thompson. Past Pembele down to Johnson on the left wing. Closed down by Silt. It's played back to Thompson, and O'Nien heads it back towards Patterson, who comes out to the corner of his penalty area and captures it ahead of Lewis Baker. In the 94th minute, and Patterson, both centre halves outside the penalty area. Patterson kicks through the middle. Rusin's leaping for it, but it's headed away by Rose. Up to Junio, who's trying to get it forwards to Mai, and it's dropped for Hume, who hooks it up to Clark. Bounces off
that's
his
my daughter,
viciously.
Summer, everybody.
Comes back here to Dan Neil on the left-hand side, who gets it to Clark, and he keeps it in, and it's
the limelight she does.
Which is lovely. A throw just in between the two.
Yeah, this is a big result. Sorry, Nick. This is a big result.
Yeah.
For Sunderland. Especially
it's a big result for Michael Beal, believe me.
For everything what's gone on, really, and for the manager as well.
Yep, must-win game was undoubtedly the case. Rusin was tugged back. The referee doesn't think so. Wilmot is pushed in the back by Clark, and the referee gives a free kick. Rusin left a bit bemused. In the 95th minute now, Sunderland leading 3-1. The ball over on the left with Thompson, forwards to Johnson, and the former Preston midfielder Johnson plays it all the way back to Rose and across to Wilmot, and then back into the middle to Rose, forwards to Berger a few yards, back to Rose, who's trying to get it out to Johnson and does on the left wing. Hartlepool 2, York 0. His Berger to Mai. Junho's gone through the middle, and Mai still has it, trying to get to the goal line and pull it back, pulls it straight back into the feet of Ballard. Go out for a corner?
Throw it.
Or throw down at the corner flag. Daniel Johnson will take the throw. That's 95 minutes played. Here's Mai, and Carlisle 1, Bolton 3 as a ball from Junho bobbles into Patterson's hands. Patterson then urging everybody to head upfield, kick towards the north end of the stadium. A lot of people have left, a lot of people are leaving. But Sunderland have secured 3 points as the kick floats up towards Rusin, with a foot up from Wilmot, takes it out for a throw to Sunderland on the left. And we're nearly up towards the last minute of the game. Hume will take the throw halfway inside the Stoke City half. That will be interesting to hear calls through the week on Total Sport next week in the light of this result, as Rusin puts the ball into the hands of the goalkeeper from the left. Whether anybody's views have changed
in regards of getting a striker.
Anyway, anything. Transfer window closes on Thursday, of course. Here's Clark back to Ballard, but I mean, it's a case in point. You know, the Burstow scored this afternoon. I think we all agree they do need a proper 9, don't they? They need someone who's got a bit of experience in that position. Here is Mai, gets the ball wide to Vidigal. Vidigal now. Hume makes the attempt to stab the ball away. We've got 20 seconds or less left. Vidigal again on the right side of the penalty area with Mai here, back to Berger into the middle. It's eventually come to Thompson with seconds of the 7 minutes left. I think that'll be it. Victory for Sunderland. They'll be disappointed not to have kept the clean sheet, but 3 goals and a much better performance overall from Sunderland this afternoon. I think certainly, the case in the first half, the movement was much better. Barr had an outstanding game. I thought Job had an outstanding game. Goals for Burstow, Barr and Ekwa, and maybe that will just calm things a little.
Yeah, it'll just shall we say, just slow things down a little bit, calm things down a little bit. I think you can see with the players there what it means to him, because that was a huge result today, not just on the field but off the field as well, and it'll be interesting to see what's going to happen in the next few days.
On a number of levels, you're right, that was a very big win for Sunderland, for Michael Beal, for Mason Burstow and the team today, who well,
listen guys, cheers for that, cheers for the
applauding the fans,
for everybody
today,
tuning in,
who
and
stayed with them.
People wondering why I don't speak as much, because
down below us, Neil, on the pitch.
I just want you guys to hear as much of the commentary as possible. I do plenty of videos where it's me, Robert, and I will be doing a comedy video later on, the alternative commentary video, which is a really good laugh, so keep an eye on that on my channel.
It finished at the Stadium Lights. Sunderland 3, Stoke City 1.
For the subscribers and the likes. It's been brilliant.
Total Sport North East.
BBC Radio Newcastle.
Thank you, Nick. Thank you, Gary. Who needs Alex Pritchard anyway? 3 hours after the club announced the midfielder had refused to play today, Sunderland go and beat Stoke City 3-1. A great performance. Another goal from a striker. And they move up the table. Are you now feeling a little bit confused this evening? That was the kind of performance the team hadn't really produced under Michael Beal before. So does that buy him a bit more time for you? Do you still want him to leave? 0800 234 6565 is the number to call and come on the show. Discuss the game,
so
the head coach, the missing midfielder with Gary Bennett, whatever it is you want to do. That is the number 0800 234 6565. If you want to send us a WhatsApp message, then it's 08000 321 333. 08000 321 333. It's 81333 to send us a text message. Start
someone's saying with the letters BBC.
Total Sport North East.
BBC Radio Newcastle.
Everyone has a story to tell.
You have a voice, and you have a voice that matters.
Young people
Someone
often overshadowed.
There's a lot more perks to having alopecia than I saw.
If you're aged 11 to 18, the BBC wants to hear from you.
Just because somebody's disabled doesn't mean that they can't achieve something.
So that your story can be told across TV, radio and online.
I really hope my story has helped people who are going through similar things like me.
Search BBC Young Reporter Competition to find out more. Entry closes on the 24th of March.
There could have been more.
Total Sport North East.
BBC Radio Newcastle.
Sunderland 3, Stoke City 1. They are just outside the playoff places on goal difference, Sunderland, although obviously most of the other teams in the Championship not playing today. But Mason Burstow, Abdul Abba and Pierre Ekwa, Sunderland's 3 goal scorers. Give us a call, have a chat with Gary Bennett, how on earth you're feeling after that. 0800 234 6565 is the number.
You're welcome, Mary.
Only one other game in the Championship today that has seen Millwall and Preston draw 1-1. It was 1-1 at half-time as well. Ian Fleming in the first 5 minutes for Millwall. Brad Potts equalising for Preston. Some games in the FA Cup 4th round. There were 4 games last night, 1 game on Thursday night. The early game today, though, saw Maidstone United of National League South go to Ipswich, second in the Championship, and beat them by 2 goals to 1. Some brilliant scenes at Portman Road at the final whistle. Lamar Reynolds and Sam Corn with Maidstone's goals, who become the lowest ranked non-league team into the last 16 of the FA Cup since Blythe Spartans way back in 1978. They are still playing in one of the 3 o'clock games at Goodison. It's Everton now. Everton won Luton Town 2 because Collie Woodrow, in injury time, has given Luton Town a 2-1 lead. They had a 1-0 lead from a Mitali Vikalenko own goal 5 minutes before half time. Jack Harrison equalised for Everton 10 minutes into the second half. But like I say, Collie Woodrow has put Luton 2-1 up at Everton. Leeds United and Plymouth have drawn 1-1. That's going to a replay. 3 of the 4 games last night have gone to replays as well. But Leeds won, Plymouth won. Jayden Anthony for Leeds, Adam Randell in the second half for Plymouth. No problems for Leicester City though, who beat